We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Ant. Show is brought to you by my friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. There are reasons for the water filters.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
One of many. It's a real thing, too, Google atrazine. It's real. It's not a spooky Halloween camp story. It's not that. People still do that stuff? Spooky stories around the fire? Or is that that like an old people thing?
I think now it's just
To the
I
kids?
almost lost my job today stories instead of
It's just actual real life horrors.
Just real life
I
horror
went to a
stories.
Walmart. I went to the one on Old Fort Parkway in Murfreesboro. It's terrifying.
They were wearing what?
I drove down Church Street. Sorry, Murfreesboro people will get it.
They're all over the place.
Zombies everywhere. Actually, Murfreesboro's gotten better. Do you know what they've been doing?
What have they been doing?
It's crazy. They've just been enforcing the laws that they have on the books and putting up new signs. So we have a no panhandling law in Murfreesboro, and the panhandlers have been getting out of control. Like just all the handles, all the pans, and we didn't like it. In fact, one of the reasons why my wife and I moved to Murfreesboro is because we had spent we lived in Mount Juliet for a year when we first got here, but before that we were in Pittsburgh for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was like every street corner. And when we were in Mount Juliet, we were trying to figure out where to move. We literally saw that they had a no panhandling law on the books, and we're like, that's amazing. We're moving there.
That's perfect.
And it's like fallen off over the last couple of years, but they started putting up signs around town.
Oh, interesting.
On like the hot corners saying panhandling is illegal. You will be held accountable.
Yeah, I need it on every other, probably every corner in the circle and everything.
It was. I love the sign.
Yeah.
I do. Listen, they're not hungry. They're looking to get money for drugs.
Yeah.
Like there are programs out there. There are people that will help. The ones that we see on the street corners aren't down on their luck. They're just waiting to score. Like, I'm sorry. That's just the harsh reality of it. And you got to force these people's bottom. So, speaking of harsh realities, SNAP benefits, they're going to run out 2 days. No SNAP November. People aren't happy about it.
We'll see what happens.
Have you seen the angry videos? So I made this decision last night, and I didn't consult Mason, even though he's going to have to do all the heavy lifting.
Yep.
During the commercial breaks today, I have found hundreds of angry, threatening, curse-filled videos of people saying, I'm just going to walk out of Walmart and I'm going to steal all this stuff, and why don't you try something? And I've compiled all these videos. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, this is a lift. Like, what do? Do I have to edit all these videos? And I decided I don't. I'm just going to play them during the commercial breaks on the YouTube stream.
Which I'm here for.
So we are going to have on the YouTube stream and Rumble stream, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch also, the most outlandish commercial breaks that you've ever seen. Ever. I'll get done. I'll be like, busybhvac.com, boom, mic off, and then we're going right back live on the stream.
Yep.
Get ready. It's going to be fun.
No holds barred.
One lady was like, what are you going to do when I walk in your house and start taking your food? I'm thinking to myself, like, I have some ideas. It's actually
Glockstore.com.
Glockstore.com. I have some ideas what I would do if you walked into my home.
It's a Fed system.
Do you know what I would do if you walked into my home? I don't know. We're gonna talk about all this. We're gonna have Marsha Blackburn joining the show at 10:35 live via Zoom. That is going to be the video element will be there on the YouTube stream. We're going to look forward to that conversation with Marsha Blackburn. She's been busy. We had more developments yesterday in the Arctic frost investigation. They were going after everyone. It was an absolute fishing expedition, and we need to demand accountability. We're going to talk to Marsha Blackburn about that. She was also grilling the Google CEOs yesterday over the misinformation that they published about Robbie Starbuck on their AI platform Gemini. And maybe you remember this story, maybe you don't. But that the AI Gemini, right? Like it's like Google's ChatGPT, Google's Grok. You would ask them about Robbie Starbuck, and it was making up all these outlandish accusations about Robbie, just spewing nonsense, things that aren't true. And it said that, and it even like pulled Marsha Blackburn in. So it said that Robbie had been accused of rape, which was just false, demonstrably false. He's never been accused of that. And then it said that Marsha Blackburn was defending Robbie when he was accused of rape, which also never happened. None of these things happened. It's a great case for why your kids shouldn't be using AI to do research. It's a great case why radio hosts shouldn't be using AI to do research, Joan. But
What? I heard my name. What?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Yeah. I wasn't listening, man.
We were talking about Marsha Blackburn being looped into AI's Google's Gemini for defending Robbie Starbuck for rape allegations, but none of that ever happened. I said this is why radio hosts shouldn't be using AI for research.
Did I use AI for research?
You called on Grok. You've called on Grok a few times.
I do call on Grok.
I'm just being a putz. I'm not actually poking the bear. Mm-hmm. I like my tires. And then we're going to talk today about Donald Trump's Asia trip, which has just been unbelievable. I watched some of that live last night. The historic moment as President Trump and Xi Jinping greeted each other. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think the meeting was going to go as well as it did with the news that we're getting out of the meeting after I saw this handshake, because it was just so awkward. And I'll be honest, like, I'm going to play this on the stream. Maybe I'm missing something, and I'm full disclosure, I may be like missing something culturally from the Chinese. Like, this is just, how they do business. But Xi Jinping is like not making eye contact with Trump during this. He says maybe 6 words, 7, depending on if you know Mandarin or not. And then Trump just like awkwardly and feels like nervously talks throughout the whole thing. So as I see this handshake go down, I'm like, I don't know how good this meeting is going to be.
The President of the People's Republic of China.
Good to meet you. Great pleasure to see you again. Good to see you again. Me too.
Now from here,
And we're going to have a very
Xi
successful
Jinping doesn't say
meeting,
another
no
word.
doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good. We know each other well.
Mr. President, do you plan to sign a trade deal today?
Could be. I think we'll have a great understanding. We have a great relationship. We've always had a great relationship.
Will they start buying U.S. soybeans again?
So it's just like this awkward meeting. And I don't know. Is that, like, again, I'm not a body language expert, and I don't know. Maybe there's some cultural differences I'm not picking up on because I'm not, as in tune to that. But just the whole thing felt off, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I hope this goes well. And spoiler alert, it did. Donald Trump on Truth Social after the meeting saying, all the things. They're agreeing to bring in soybeans and more. He said, I had a truly great meeting with President Xi of China. There's enormous respect between our two countries, and that will only be enhanced with what just took place. We agreed on many things, with others, even of high importance, being very close to resolved. I was extremely honored by the fact that President Xi authorized China to begin the purchase of massive amounts of soybeans, sorghum, and other farm products. Our farmers will be very happy. In fact, as I said once before during my first administration, farmers should immediately go out and buy more land and larger tractors. I would like to thank President Xi for this. Additionally, China has agreed to continue the flow of rare earth, critical minerals, magnets, etc., openly and freely, which is a big deal. Very significantly, China has strongly stated that they will work diligently with us to stop the flow of fentanyl into our country. Also a big deal. They will help us end the fentanyl crisis. China has also agreed, this is a big one, that they will begin the process of purchasing American energy. In fact, a very large-scale transaction may take place concerning the purchase of oil and gas from the great state of Alaska. Chris Wright, Doug Burgum, and our respective energy teams will be meeting to see if such an energy deal can be worked out. The agreements reached today will deliver prosperity and security to millions of Americans. After this historic trip to Asia, I am now heading back to Washington, D.C. I want to thank the great countries of Malaysia, Japan, South Korea for being so gracious, generous, and hospitable. Also, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, who were at the dinner last night, hosted by His Excellency Lee Jae-myung. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being brought into our country because of them. Our nation is strong, respected, and admired again. The best is yet to come. I mean, if China ends up buying energy from Alaska, how do you call this anything other than a success? And the Democrats have been beating the drum. Oh, President Trump isn't even in Washington. He's not even caring about what's going on here. First, you didn't need him to reopen the government. Chuck Schumer going on the floor, and he's saying he's dancing in Malaysia on the tarmac. Doesn't he realize how important this is? Again, the president is not needed to reopen the government. And I think it's important to point out that on this trip alone, President Trump has brought in about $2 trillion in foreign investments. $2 trillion with a T. With a T. Secretary Bessent was talking about this on Maria Bartiromo's show this morning.
Well, Maria, as you said, the contrast could not be more marked. That President Trump comes out to Asia, and I think at the end of the day, just this trip alone may end up in $2 trillion of investment. Then we go home, and the Democrats have decided, because of their poll numbers, because I don't even know why they've decided to keep the government shut. If you look, the vote is 52 Republicans have voted to reopen. 3 Democratic senators have done the brave thing, come across the line, and we're coming home. And it's a global embarrassment that these Democrats are doing, and I think part of it is the mainstream media is not holding them accountable. If the Republicans were doing this, any time the Republicans have refused to reopen the government, the amount of terrible press that they get from the mainstream media is borders on hysterical. And where's the fairness here? And you're right, Maria. We are starting to eat into the well, Maria.
He said that the Democrats are embarrassing the country on the world stage. The media is covering for them. And could you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot? Where's the lie? $2 trillion of investment coming from Donald Trump's Asia trip. And I want to point out that while he was in Asia just last night, like the meeting took place, around midnight our time, 11 o'clock, midnight our time. This afternoon, he's back in D.C., and he's going to be giving out candy bars to trick-or-treaters. This guy's unstoppable. He's just an absolute machine. Democrats are saying he's slowing down, though. He's slowing a bit. His mental acuity, are we sure it's there? He's going to be coming back after getting $2 trillion. He's probably going to sleep, maybe an hour or two on the flight, and then he's going to greet trick-or-treaters at the White House this afternoon. He's slowing down. He's losing a step. Okay. Sure thing. Sure thing. It can't be understated how big of a deal this trip was. That investment is huge. And with the potential of China buying energy from America, it could be even bigger. Fox News had a breakdown on the deal with China and how it was laid out and what we could potentially be looking at.
Yes, now here's some more outlines of the deal. Dana, Trump will reduce tariffs on China down to 47%, which is down from 57%. China will curb fentanyl trafficking. China will purchase American soybeans again. The deal, which has not been signed, is only for 1 year. Trump also said China would begin buying American oil and gas from Alaska. Here was the scene in Busan on the southeast corner of the Korean Peninsula. The meeting with Xi lasted for an hour and a half, not the 3 to 4 hours Trump had predicted earlier. Their first face-to-face meeting since Trump returned to the White House. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who met with Chinese officials in Malaysia at the beginning of this trip to Asia last week, the 5th such meeting all over the world, these meetings, announced earlier to our colleague Maria Bartiromo the volume of the American soybeans China has agreed to purchase.
The Chinese have agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans during this season.
That good?
Right now.
That good?
Then for the next 3 years, they're going to be buying a minimum of 25 million metric tons per annum for the next 3 years.
Is that good? I think that's good. I think that you could call that a victory.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds good. It sounds good. One reporter tried to derail the meetings before they even began. You're not going to believe what this reporter shouted out as President Trump is sitting across the table from Xi Jinping. No other reporters are shouting questions. One reporter decides to go into business for herself. And as she shouts this question, the only thing that could cross my mind was, wow, she must really hate America. I'll bring you that question when we get back. It's 9:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so we said we were going to be going live on the stream for the most outlandish SNAP benefit videos that are going viral on the internet right now. And it just makes my computer audio is not going to go over the radio, right? Because this stuff will get me fired. Just full disclosure, because it's insane. All right, here's one of an individual who says that she's going to, this guy. Oh, I remember this guy. He's going to go on a stealing spree if people have the audacity to try and stop him. Well, he's going to choose violence. Let's look at this.
You know what? Since they want to take food stamps away, I'm going to fucking Walmart. I'm going to rack up any damn Walmart, throw this shit right in the basket. I'm running right about that bitch. Move, get the fuck out of my way. I'm not paying for a damn thing.
Mr. Marbles in his mouth. Not paying for a dang thing.
Y'all got me fucked up. I ain't getting a food stamp on EBT. Oh, watch this. Watch this. I'm about to, it's about to be some bullshit. It about to be some shit. I'm about to go in that bitch masked up, you hear me? Masked up, racking every damn thing off the damn shelf, throwing that shit in a basket, walking clean about it. Boy, y'all got me fucked up, boy. It's about to be Thanksgiving, you hear me? And Christmas coming up. And y'all gonna take away nigga EBT? Oh, nah, y'all got the game really fucked up. Y'all got the game fucked all the way up, son. Believe it. Watch this. Y'all think
Effed up, son. I'm sorry. That part made me smile.
I'm playing? Watch this, you heard me? Watch this. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I'm gonna go in
Watch what I do. I'm gonna rack up these charges. Watch me. Watch me.
that Walmart with a basket, and I'm gonna rack all kind of shit. I'm gonna throw this shit on the basket. I'm gonna walk right about that bitch. Put this in the car. Fume. I'm out of there. I'm out of there. Gone. I'm out of there. You know.
Fume. That's a technical term. That's a technical term for moving away in a car at a high rate of speed. I'll be here for more translations as we go through these snap videos. Fume. Fume. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. From like November 1st to November 5th, I'm thinking of telling the wife, let's get our groceries on delivery. We'll be back with more momentarily. It's Super Talk.
We've got some new details about that trade agreement between the U.S. and China and a real-life Halloween horror story for a woman in Kentucky. All of that coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Oh, hang on one second. Sorry. Got too much audio running in the background. If you're watching us on the YouTube stream, you saw us during the commercial break. We're going to be, every commercial break during this show, we're going to be playing some of the viral snap videos that are going around. It's a lot of threats, so we'll be bringing you that on the YouTube stream. Join us over there. I can't play a lot of these on the air because of how, I don't know, threatening, curse-filled, and violent they sound. So it's going to be a stream exclusive today. Find us on YouTube, Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe. Yesterday, Donald Trump meeting with Xi Jinping. The meeting was a success for the United States. Soybeans, energy, you name it. Tariffs have been lowered. And a lot of people are touting the success of the Asia trip in general. $2 trillion in investments coming to the United States. But before the meeting even started, they're doing a little sit down. They got media in the room. And one reporter decides to go into business for herself. You'll notice no other reporters are shouting questions except for this one American reporter who decides, again, she goes into business for herself. And this is what it sounds like.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
He ignores the question, rightfully so, but you're sitting across the table from your major ally. Read the room, lady. What was she talking about with the nuclear testing? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth after the news with Joan Jones, which starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We are getting more details now about the deal that was struck between President Trump and China's Xi Jinping. Here's Fox News' Lucas Tomlinson.
Trump will reduce tariffs on China down to 47%, which is down from 57%. China will curb fentanyl trafficking. China will purchase American soybeans again. The deal, which has not been signed, is only for 1 year. Trump also said China will begin buying American oil and gas from Alaska.
And the two presidents will visit each other's countries in the coming year. The recently fired city manager in Lewisburg, Marshall County, facing more charges now. Police report that Roy Hayslip was caught stalking a woman who has an order of protection against him. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
He was arrested Tuesday for following a former city employee to the gas station. Well, police say that Hayslip pulled up next to her before watching her pump gas from inside of the store. Police then had to escort her while she dropped her child off at school.
Now, he was fired earlier this month by the city council for a similar incident. And a Kentucky woman experienced a real-life Halloween horror story. She said she had ordered medicine online, but instead, when she opened the box, it contained human arms and fingers. The Christian County coroner said that body parts are often used for research or transplants, but it's not known where the body parts were intended to go and if they received the woman's medicine. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson, and I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.
All right, we're back on the stream. What's up? Okay, this is what we're doing. I got a lot of these videos. I got to find a new one. I don't want to do Fume Guy again. He was good though. He was good. Let's see. Is this who we got here? This is an individual. Oh nope, same guy. That's Mr. Fume. We don't need Mr. Fume. We just did that. Okay, this is a TikToker. She says that she is going to be bringing her big A cousins with her. And if you get in her way at Walmart, she's going to have her big cousin punch you into next week. She sounds sweet. Sounds like the type of gal that you'd want to share a meal with, a meal that's been stolen from Walmart.
I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want motherfuckers start looting, what's gonna happen?
Trump, if you want these fine, law-abiding individuals to start reappropriating these groceries, it's gonna happen. It's not Trump, it's the Democrats, but I digress.
Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say, ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. Oh. And I'm going to have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard, you going to think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that stuff.
She said a Jet 2 holiday hit your BS. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
And please follow me to that motherfucking car. If you feeling motherfucking froggy, bitch, you ain't gonna make it back to your motherfucking position at that fucking Walmart store. I'm telling you.
FBI, I'd like to report a threat. If you're feeling froggy, leap. I was waiting for her to say leap. She never said leap. We'll be back with more of these viral snap videos during every commercial break here today on the YouTube stream. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It's 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. So I got corrected. I got corrected on the text line. We have a big sign outside the studio. It says days without being corrected on the text line. And I'm going to, after this break, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have to turn it back to 0.
Yeah.
It's been 0 days since I've been corrected on the text line.
We made it to 2.
It was a good run. We had a heck of a run. I said major ally. Trump was sitting across the table from his major ally.
Yeah.
Sally pointed out that's incorrect. I meant to say adversary. I don't know why I said ally. Talking's hard, and we tend to have a tough time talking.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not like you get paid for it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We were talking about this question. This woman went into business for herself during the sit down with President Trump and his cabinet and Xi Jinping and his cabinet sitting across the table from a major adversary. What sounds to me like an American reporter, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know who the reporter is. But she goes into business for herself. And she could have absolutely ruined the negotiations. And it's like, read the room, lady. No other reporters are shouting questions. And I get wanting to get your question in. But a question about nukes when you're sitting across the table from the guy that you might go to World War III against, probably not the best time to do it. This is what it sounded like yesterday during their meeting as that reporter is shouting out the question.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody out of the room. It sounded like an old school Biden press gaggle. Okay, press, out of here. Now, here's the thing. Is it an okay question to ask? Yes, absolutely. You should be asking that question of the president. I don't have an issue with the question. I have an issue with the venue. Okay? They haven't sat down with Xi Jinping. Trump has not sat down with Xi Jinping in 6 years. They just got through the handshake portion. They're about to go into what Donald Trump was describing as a 3 to 4 hour meeting. It ended up only being about an hour and a half. But that's the last thing that they hear. The question about nukes. I think that reporter hates America. I think that she was trying to sabotage negotiations. I don't know how you can come to any other conclusion. Is she that dumb? Is she that dumb? Again, it's not the question, it's the venue. Trump did order the Pentagon to immediately start testing nuclear weapons after a 3-decade embargo. That happened. And it's a big story. Make no mistake about it. This is from The Independent. President Donald Trump has instructed his Defense Department of War, just a little thing, don't dead name the Department of War. We're the Department of War now. All of you liberals are against dead naming unless it's the Gulf of Mexico or the Department of Defense. Then dead naming is fine. We are anti-dead naming. It's the Department of War now. President Trump instructed his Department of War to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately. Trump made the announcement on Truth Social Wednesday night, just before his highly anticipated meeting with Xi Jinping in South Korea. Stating on Truth Social, the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second, and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. He added that process will begin immediately. I'm fine with it. I think that the president posting that before the meeting is trying to have some leverage. I think the reporter yelling and shouting that question to the president before the meeting is trying to sabotage. These two things are not the same. Russia hasn't tested a nuke in a while. China hasn't tested a nuke in a while. We are seeing North Korea ramp up testing. Trump didn't respond to that reporter's question. They shuffled him out of the room. But they say that this announcement comes weeks after renewed nuclear saber rattling with Russia, which this week tested a nuclear-capable underwater drone that they said could not be intercepted. Russia also tested a nuclear-powered missile with unlimited range, adding to a growing arsenal of fast and nuclear-capable cruise missiles. That's the Poseidon, if I recall correctly. NATO has also carried out nuclear drills this month as part of Operation Steadfast Noon in Europe. In August, Russia elected to pull out of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, by which the Soviet Union and the U.S. had agreed to reduce the number of strategic weapons held by both sides. The decision was announced days after Trump said he was redeploying a pair of nuclear submarines to appropriate regions, citing provocative statements from Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. That's where we're at. I think the president's right to be testing these weapons. I don't want these weapons to be used, but to let others know that they're up, running, and capable could be the exact step you need to take to make sure that they're never used. Maybe. But it's interesting. It's interesting. There's been a lot of news today. The meeting in China was historic, to say the least. Huge victories, soybeans, energy, more to come, tariffs reduced. Wall Street is probably rejoicing because of it. But we also got news yesterday about Arctic frost. And the plot is thickening on Arctic frost. We're going to talk to Senator Marsha Blackburn about that at 10:35. She's going to be joining us live via video on your radio and on our YouTube and Rumble channels. But just yesterday, new FBI files revealing Jack Smith targeted the entire Republican political apparatus. And it sparked calls for Judge Boasberg to be impeached. This is from the New York Post. Senator Chuck Grassley released additional FBI files on Wednesday, revealing hundreds more Republican groups and persons were targeted in a fishing expedition brought by special counsel Jack Smith. I believe the last revelations that we had from Arctic Frost were that they were going after Republican organizations like Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, and that they were targeting 8 Senate Republicans. Marsha Blackburn, Haggerty being 2 of those. Josh Hawley, I think, was in that mix as well. But in the press conference yesterday, alongside other GOP senators, Marsha Blackburn included, Grassley announced that he was making the file public, and it was 197 subpoenas issued by Smith as part of the Arctic Frost probe, which Grassley said became the vehicle by which the FBI and DOJ prosecutors could improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus. Saying, I've obtained through legally protected whistleblower disclosures, Grassley, that 197 subpoenas were issued by Jack Smith and his team. These subpoenas were issued to 34 individuals and 163 businesses, including financial institutions. The subpoena requested records and communications related to over 430 individuals and organizations. All of them appeared to be aimed at Republicans. The Iowa Republican added, noting that request to the late conservative icon Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA and the Republican Attorney General's Association. Senator Ted Cruz was not happy about this. And Ted Cruz was one of the first guys to get up behind that podium and call for Judge Boasberg to be impeached. Cruz was going off. And again, he's flanked, as you'll see in the video on the YouTube and Rumble stream, In the video, he's got Chuck Grassley behind him, as well as Senator Marsha Blackburn.
I am right now calling on the House of Representatives to impeach Judge Boasberg. Judge Boasberg put his robe down, stood up, and said, "Sign me up to be part of the partisan vendetta against 20% of the Republicans in the Senate." That is a dereliction of duty and a violation of the judicial oath. And I want to thank Chairman Grassley and Chairman Johnson for pursuing this tenaciously like a dog on a bone. We are going to get the answers of every person who signed off on this abuse of power, and mark my words, there will be accountability for these zealots who wanted to corrupt the Department of Justice and corrupt the judiciary in order to try to attack their enemies list.
Ted Cruz was one of the 9 Republicans whose phone metadata was sought, reports the New York Post. Arctic Frost is Joe Biden's Watergate. Merrick Garland was a fundamentally corrupt attorney general. Jack Smith was a fundamentally corrupt prosecutor. This was political enemies. Oh. Do I got audio? Is that the newsroom? That's the newsroom. The order was signed by U.S. District Court Chief Judge James Boasberg, who you remember, and barred the cell carrier from letting Ted Cruz know about the request for at least 1 year, he said. So you're going to be allowed to look at Ted Cruz's phone's metadata, and the cell carriers can't tell Ted Cruz about it for a year. The Texas Republican and others called for Boasberg's impeachment in the House, with Cruz claiming the judge was abusing his power by asserting in the order that there were reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in destruction or tampering with evidence, intimidation of potential witnesses, and serious jeopardy to the investigation. We don't know that for a fact, but I feel confident that he concluded it's likely that Lindsey Graham would destroy evidence, Marsha Blackburn would destroy evidence, Eric Schmidt would destroy evidence, Chuck Grassley would destroy evidence, Cruz went on. If a judge signs an order reaching a factual conclusion for which there is zero evidence whatsoever, that judge is abusing his power, and I, right now, am calling on the House of Representatives to impeach Judge Boasberg. Boasberg's the same guy who earlier this year halted deportation flights of alleged MS-13 gang members, Tren de Aragua gang members, and other terrorists inside the United States to that Salvadoran mega prison. James E. Boasberg, Cruz seethed, the radical leftist judge who is out of control, who has been issuing nationwide injunctions, one after the other, trying to stop President Trump from carrying out his mandate for the voters. Other Republicans echoed the call, with Schmidt from Missouri demanding a Watergate-style hearing in Congress over the bombshell files. The FBI disclosures prompted outrage from other senators in the room, most of whom had their so-called toll analysis or phone metadata requested by the Biden Department of Justice. This is an insane story. Trump has weighed in on this story. Donald Trump is demanding that Jack Smith go to prison over these revelations that we're getting today and yesterday from Chuck Grassley, saying on Truth Social, these thugs should all be investigated and put in prison. A disgrace to humanity. Deranged Jack Smith is a criminal. Where's the lie? Smith's investigation also uncovered a subpoena to an unidentified person relating to communications with media companies such as CBS, Fox News, Fox Business, Newsmax, Sinclair, and others, according to Grassley. Several White House insiders, Stephen Miller, Dan Scavino, Jared Kushner, Laura Trump, were also targeted along with Republican donors. Contrary to what Smith has said publicly, this was a fishing expedition, Grassley declared. If this had happened to Democrats, they'd be as rightly outraged as we are outraged. If this had happened to Democrats, this would be running nonstop on CNN. You understand that. This would be the lead story on MSNBC. Our local news partners here in Nashville would be discussing this. Yet it's going to go largely unreported because of who the targets were. The probe, contrary to what Smith has publicly said, this was a fishing expedition, Grassley declared. The probe resulted in a 4-count indictment against Trump related to his attempts to overturn the 2020 election that culminated in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. Wink. Had nothing to do with the FBI agents. Senate Judiciary Committee chairman previously published FBI records that showed at least 9 Republican lawmakers in Congress had their call logs requested by Smith's team from phone carriers. I'm looking forward to bringing Jack Smith before us, Senator Marsha Blackburn added, who recently referred the former prosecutor to the DOJ office for dealing with professional misconduct and pushed to 2 state bars to consider disciplining him. Cruz revealed in Wednesday's press conference that AT&T refused to comply with the subpoena for his phone records, claiming that Arctic Frost had engaged in an unconstitutional attempt to infringe on speech rights. Reps for Smith and Boasberg were reached out to for comment, and you know what they said? They declined those requests. It's 9:51. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Are you already dreading walking around with the kids while you trick-or-treat tomorrow night because you got knee pain, back pain, neck pain? You know that you could get back to a pain-free life and it's not going to break the bank, right? You could have done this weeks ago, but you should still do it today. The Big Daddy Trump special is going on at the Wellness Institute of Nashville right now. $12 is going to get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley just want to get you back to a pain-free life. And they're not going to do it with painful injections. They're not going to do it with surgery. And they're not going to do it by prescribing you opioids. None of those are the right solution. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are actually going to focus on non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, anti-gravity machines. So whatever is ailing you, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, they can treat it all, and it's not going to be with surgery, injections, or opioids. This is a big deal. Grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could change your life. PainIsBad.com. All right, back on the stream. More SNAP benefit highlight reels. We got all the highlights. I gotta get myself a bit organized here. There's so many, and they're so angry. Let's see. We did the TikToker who's going to bring her cousin. And if you get in her way, it's going to be, what is it, Jetstream 2? Holiday Jetstream? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But here's another woman who says she's going to start stealing food. She's going to steal all the food because she needs her SNAP benefits. And she's got enough money for awful tattoos, that's for sure. But she doesn't have any money for food.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump.
Let's stop there. You think that's her natural hair color? Asking for a friend. Let's get back to the other orange person being referred to in this video. The orange hair. Orange hair. She's orange mother-loving Trump. All right, continue. Continue, ma'am.
Orange Man J. Trump. I'm going to tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps in goddamn November?
I don't like the GDs. I also don't like blaming Donald Trump when it's the Republicans who have voted 13 times to open the government. Democrats have voted 13 times to keep it closed.
I'm getting my goddamn shit. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Because I'm going to tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ.
His middle name was Lamar? I had no idea.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries.
Helmets are a red flag. I do love the way she talks, though. It's very sing-songy. It's very musical-esque.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid.
A lot of SNAP benefits share that in common.
Baby, you want to see a human motherfucking bulldozer, baby? Because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that goddamn store with my motherfucking monthly groceries that I get every goddamn month, I ain't bothering no goddamn body, okay?
I'm just in a helmet and steel toes. I'm not here to bother anyone.
Why the fuck is y'all bothering me and my goddamn food? I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass. Shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's gonna be an episode of goddamn Snap if y'all turn them goddamn Snap benefits off, I can tell you that.
She's actually one of my favorites. I actually feel like she would be funny to hang out with. As long as she's been fed. We'll be back with more Snap benefit highlights every commercial break.
President Trump restarts nuclear testing in the U.S. Also, this guy flipped a TPUSA table, and now that college employee is under arrest. That story coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
There's only one guy I ever approved of flipping tables.
Yes.
It's not that gentleman at the TPUSA event.
He was a famous carpenter.
He was a famous carpenter. He made his own whip, too. That's one of my favorite things to say. People, they love to focus on the lamb, not the lion. And they say, what would Jesus do? And I say, just remember, making your own whip, chasing bankers out of the temple, and flipping tables is well within the realm of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Huge fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan. That's my guy. That's my guy. We've been playing Snap benefit viral video highlight reels on the stream.
Is it going over well?
Yeah. It's actually really funny. This one woman, she used the Lord's name in vain, not a fan, but she said, Jesus, Lamar, mother loving Christ.
What?
And if you were watching this on the stream, my comment was, I had no idea his middle name was Lamar.
Me neither.
I read my Bible. I didn't know that. You learn something every day. Join us on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. We're going to be playing those Snap benefit highlight reels every commercial break. There's too many. There's too many to go through. So we got them all for you on the YouTube and Rumble channel exclusively. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch as well, but those are secondary. YouTube's the big one. Hit like and subscribe. We got a lot to talk about. Marsha Blackburn's going to be joining the show at 10:35. We're going to dive into Arctic frost. We're going to see how the governor's race is going. I got some questions about her and Robbie Starbuck and more. We're going to do all that. I also want to talk about the TPUSA event that happened yesterday. That was unbelievable. Erica Kirk was awesome. She is an example of strength, and I don't know how she continues doing what she's doing. But J.D. Vance was on another level. A politician who is not afraid to answer any question. We're going to get to the J.D. Vance clips. First, I want to play some of the Erica Kirk, who, again, she's been phenomenal. And everyone that I talked to is just so impressed, so proud. They love her. This was Erica Kirk last night. At the this is the Turning Point tour with Turning Point USA and J.D. Vance.
You are the courageous generation. That's what you are. All of you. Gen Z, you are the courageous generation. Hear me when I say that. My husband believed that to his core. That's why he went on campuses. That's why he was trying to reach you. You are the courageous generation.
She's absolutely right. For a long time, people said Gen Z is lost, and I think Gen Z is going to save this country. Charlie woke up a lot of the guys. Erica right now is waking up a lot of the girls, and I'm grateful for her for doing that. She said being on campus for her is reclaiming spiritual territory.
Being on campus right now for me is a spiritual reclaiming of territory. And let me explain that, because there is a lot of symbolism in today. It's Wednesday, 7 weeks. And the more that I am coming to grips with the permanency of this nightmare, the more that I'm starting to realize and witness that the enemy, he doesn't want you, he wants your territory.
And Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA are refusing to cede that territory. God bless them. J.D. Vance, though, last night on another level, answering any question that was thrown his way, not shying away from them, not dancing around them. He had young kids coming up to him and saying, "Sir, Israel is controlling President Trump." And J.D. Vance said, "All right, let's talk about it. Let's address these questions." Huge fan of that. We'll bring you all the highlights when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. Now 10:01. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump ordering the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons on an equal basis with other nations. That order coming in a Truth Social post yesterday. Here's NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
The president did not specify any more details, only saying the U.S. has test sites and that an announcement will be made. But Russia has recently been testing delivery systems for nuclear weapons, not detonating the bombs themselves, something Russia and China have not done in decades. A Kremlin spokesperson overnight saying that recent test was not a nuclear one, and that if someone abandons the moratorium on nuclear weapons testing, Russia will act accordingly.
Now, Russia announced the test of a new long-range nuclear-powered underwater weapon. It also tested a nuclear-powered and nuclear-capable cruise missile. The Senate confirmation hearing for Dr. Casey Means, President Trump's Surgeon General nominee, has been postponed. It had been scheduled to take place this morning, but Means has gone into labor with her first child, according to the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee. Means is a champion of holistic health with a focus on whole and natural foods and exercise. She is not a fan of pharmaceutical drugs, and some say that makes her a controversial pick as a Surgeon General. General Motors is confirming that slower EV sales is resulting in some job cuts, and that includes about 700 temporary layoffs at the Ultium plant in Spring Hill. In a statement, the company said the pause in production will begin in January, but should resume by mid-2026. Impacted employees may still receive a significant portion of their pay and benefits. A huge water main break near the Wedgwood Houston community south of downtown Nashville yesterday. It happened near the 400 block of Chestnut Street just before 1 in the afternoon. Crews did stop the overflow, but they say it's still closed off in that area. WSMV4's Joylyn Bukovac.
Crews say even though they stopped the leak yesterday afternoon and the water has receded, this area is still a very active repair zone and traffic is being detoured around that closure. So drivers should instead use Wedgwood or Lafayette Street. Those are the other two main streets that will take you around this closure.
Metro Water isn't saying how long the repairs will take. Well, maybe you saw that viral video of this guy flipping a Turning Point USA table at Illinois State University.
Jesus did it, so you know I gotta do it, right? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day, he says. That's 27-year-old Derek Lopez. He was fired from his job at the university after that incident, but now he's been arrested in a joint operation by the FBI and the Secret Service for making online threats against President Trump. FBI Director Kash Patel describing the alleged threats as heinous. That is the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
All right, we're back on the stream. We got 2 minutes here, so this one's going to have to be quick. Let me find one. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all the way through it. But I told you guys we want to do this every commercial break, and that's what we want to do, bringing you the SNAP benefit highlights. All right, so we did the TikTokers going to be stealing from stores. Here's another one. Oh, no, we did that one. This is the lady. This is a good one. This is quick. This is the lady that said when the SNAP benefits run out, she's gonna walk into your house and start taking your groceries. And what are you going to do about it? This is a fun one. She's smart enough to not show her face, though.
If I came in your house with all my bags, picking out all your food, deep freezer, snacks, your grandmama's milk, and everything, what you gonna do? I'm curious. What you gonna do if I was to walk in your house and go grocery shopping in your shit?
It's a good question. What would you do? I'd like you guys to weigh in the chat. And also, if you can jump in and leave a comment on the live stream as well. If this woman walked into your house and started taking your groceries, what would you do? I have some ideas. And don't you dare touch my grandmama's milk. Mima needs that milk. We'll be back with more in a little bit. It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. Get those, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. Though people have been complaining about iHeart lately. Have you been seeing that on the text line? People are like, a lot of commercials, a lot of Sanjay Gupta on iHeart.
I haven't heard a lot. Oh, Gupta on iHeart? Yeah, he rules over there, unfortunately.
Tune in is always the best streaming app, just for the record. Let the record show. Preach. So that's the one. If you want to watch us, we're on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Rumble's working today?
Rumble is up as of right now. We'll see what happens later.
It's a little janky from time to time. Marsha Blackburn's going to be joining us live via video on the YouTube streams at 10:35. Also during every commercial break today during the stream. And maybe tomorrow. We might do it tomorrow, too. Because I don't think we're going to have any shortage of these videos. People are very upset that their SNAP benefits could be going away on November 1st, and they're resorting to just outrageous videos right now. And the videos are saying that they're going to resort to violence. All we have right now is outrageous videos. I was compiling these videos last night, and as I got to 10, I decided I have too many to edit. So we're going to play them during the commercial breaks on the YouTube stream exclusively, so we don't have to edit any of it out. And you get it in its entirety and all of its glory.
So much swearing.
There's
so much.
It's like, geez, do you guys know any other words?
It would have been one long monotone bleep for everybody on the radio.
It would have been a lot
most of these.
I would have spent my evening show prepping, but just putting beeps in.
Yeah.
So we decided that we'll do something exclusive for YouTube. If you have any Snap, EBT, highlight reel type videos that you want me to play on the stream during commercial breaks, you can DM them to me on X at Chris Hand on Air, and I will make sure that all of the best ones are played during today and tomorrow's show, every commercial break. And the only one that is doing a heavy lift through all this is Mason, because he's. How many buttons do you have to hit for me to go live on YouTube only and not radio?
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's like 17 buttons. A lot of buttons.
14.
That's what he gets paid for.
Yeah.
That's what he gets paid for. So we were talking about JD Vance. Big event last night with Turning Point USA. JD was at Ole Miss, and I loved it. I love that he was there. I love the way JD talks to people. I don't think there's anybody that understands the new American story better than JD Vance. Just growing up with a mother in addiction in a town that's been ripped apart by NAFTA, joining the military, then working his way up, going to college, all the things. He gets it in a way many politicians don't. the fact that he's our age. He's a millennial. That is huge to me. That's key. He understands technology. He understands where things are going in this world. But one of my favorite things about J.D. Vance is that he's not afraid of any question. And one of the big things they do at all these Turning Point events is they have a Q&A portion. And this has been true for years upon years. Charlie used to do it. Anybody that does a Turning Point event, there's a Q&A portion. And they opened up the questions last night, and JD got tough question after tough question after tough question. And he didn't dance around the questions. He didn't shout anybody down. He calmly answered them. And he got all the questions. Is Donald Trump controlled by Israel? Tell us about Palantir. Do you condone them taking our information? What about Thomas Massie? How come Trump is going after Thomas Massie? That's a question a lot of people have asked. JD Vance was willing and open to answer any of those questions. I'm going to bring you some of the highlights. Let's start with Thomas Massie. Then we'll go to Palantir, and then we'll work our way to the Israel stuff, which I think is probably the juiciest. But the Thomas Massie one really did set the stage for the types of questions that JD Vance was going to be getting throughout the evening.
Run against Republican Representative Thomas Massie, who has opposed and criticized some of the Trump administration's aims. How would you address those who fear that principled disagreement or independent thinking is discouraged within the party because of how it can be framed as a betrayal instead of as internal accountability or an opportunity for debate and negotiation?
First of all, excellent question. These kids are going to be fine. Like, can we agree with that? This is a young lady. Can't be older than 20-something, 22, can't be older than 22. Smart question. How can this not be viewed as independent thought? Why are you guys going after Massie? What's the deal? JD Vance, he just gives her the truth.
So it's a very good question. And let me say, this one is hard for me. And the reason it's hard for me is because Thomas Massie and he's one of the first people that ever reached out to me about my book or about political office. I've known Thomas Massie well before I ever got involved in politics. Thomas's wife died maybe it was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It was a little while ago. She died very unexpectedly, was a very sweet and kind woman. And I was probably one of the first people that called Thomas to offer my condolences. I think the problem with Thomas, and I've told him this in private, and now I guess I'll say it in public, is it's one thing to disagree with the party on a particular issue. It's one thing to have your independent stand on a number of questions. And by the way, some of the stuff where Thomas Massie has been independent against the Republican Party, I've agreed with him with. Thomas and I worked together during 2023, where I was trying to stop the limitless flow of American money to Ukraine, and Thomas was one of the people I was working closest with it. But that's one thing. Being independent, having your own opinions is one thing. Voting against the party on every single issue, you're eventually going to make too many enemies.
That's the short and skinny of it. You're voting against us every single time. At a certain point, it becomes less about independent thought and more about opposing the administration. And let's be honest, we need Thomas Massie to get on board. If we want to advance the Trump agenda, Thomas Massie needs to be a key part of that. And he hasn't been. He just hasn't.
And that is the problem that Thomas has had. It's not one issue. It's not 3 or 4 issues. It's that every time that we've needed Thomas for a vote, he has been completely unwilling to provide it. That is why the President of the United States has trained his ire on Thomas Massie. It's because we can never count on him for some of the most difficult votes. I wish that weren't the case. I say that as somebody who's known Thomas well before I got into politics. But politics is politics. And when you always vote against the party, you can't expect the party to actually back you.
A calm, reasonable, well-spoken answer from J.D. Vance. Nobody is asking politicians questions like this. Politicians aren't answering questions like this. There's only one guy I've seen do it. It's J.D. Vance. That's it. All right, let's bring up Palantir. This is a good one because the guy that runs Palantir, Peter Thiel, he helped J.D. get his start. Well documented, big donor. This is a question. This is a criticism of J.D. Vance. People see Palantir, this big tech company, getting their fingers into everything, and it makes them nervous. I understand. And one young kid brings it up to J.D. Vance. Again, an unbelievably good question with an even better answer.
Hello, Vice President Vance.
How you doing?
Good. I have a question. Do you condone large private corporations such as Palantir hoarding data caches on U.S. citizens?
No, I don't condone it. And here's the thing. So I get asked about Palantir a lot because there's this internet meme out there that somehow I am super in bed with Palantir.
So for starters, he didn't have to go there, right? The question didn't say, what's your stake in Palantir? You tell me about your business with Palantir. But he knew what was being inferred there, right? Like he knew where that question was coming from. So Vance addresses it head on. I love it.
And here's the thing that I'd say about this. Palantir is a private company. They sometimes do a useful service, and sometimes they're going to do things that we don't like. You should be demanding that your representatives do two things when it comes to Palantir or when it comes to any other technology company. Number one, protecting your data. What's going on with artificial intelligence is going to mean that there are massive inducements to steal your data, to harvest it, and to use it against you to sell digital advertisements. That is not what I believe in, and I've been fighting against it, whether it's Palantir or any other technology company, literally before I ran for office. When I ran for office, I was criticized by Republicans in my Republican Senate primary because I was talking then about Google and Facebook harvesting our data. It's unacceptable. I don't care who does it. I don't want them to do it. Number two, and this is also very important, what's going on with artificial intelligence, we got to be worried about large-scale surveillance, okay? Everything. You asked about Palantir. Do you know that every time you make a credit card transaction, the credit card companies are collecting data on how you spend your money? Do you know that every time you linger over a link on the internet for more than a half second, the search engines are collecting data on you so that they can sell you advertisements? One of the biggest questions for American policy over the next 10 years is how to ensure that you are a sovereign citizen. And you cannot be a sovereign citizen if any private corporation or any government can steal something from you that belongs to you.
Unbelievable. This is one of the reasons why I like this guy. I really do. Chuck Grassley, thank you for the whistleblower documents and unveiling Operation Arctic Frost. Chuck Grassley is also 91 years old. Do you think Chuck Grassley could explain any of that the way J.D. Vance did? And I'm picking on Chuck Grassley on purpose because he's a Republican. Because there's too many elder statesmen in our government that doesn't understand the world that these young people are facing every single day. They just don't. J.D. Vance is not that guy. J.D. Vance didn't run away from the tough question. J.D. Vance gave a very measured answer, and he didn't back down. What's wrong with that answer? I'm here for it. And I also understand the nature of AI, how it scares people. But I'm in favor of the United States being at the leading forefront of AI because if we don't do it, somebody else is. So you tell me what you'd rather have. A dystopian future with China ruling AI or the dystopian future with America ruling AI? I'll take the latter dystopian future. But the hits kept coming, man. And people kept asking tough questions of Vance. And he didn't back down at all. Student to J.D. Vance last night asked if he thought it was a conflict of interest for Miriam Adelson, an Israeli donor, to give millions of dollars to Trump's campaign and then to watch Trump have pro-Israeli policies. J.D. Vance didn't dance around it. This question's coming up because during that big peace summit, Miriam is in the room. Miriam, do you love America more or do you love Israel more? She doesn't say anything. He's like, Trump. I think that means she loves Israel more. One of his biggest donors, Sheldon Adelson, her husband, one of his biggest donors. This is a criticism that Trump gets on the internet all the time. They clearly didn't pre-vet the questions. Vance didn't say only approved questions. If they did that, do you think this would have gotten through? Maybe, because it doesn't seem like Vance is scared at all. He answered every question. even the tough ones. And kudos to these young kids for having hard questions for the vice president.
Hello. I have a question about Israel and Trump's policy towards it. Do you think it's a conflict of interest for Miriam Adelson, an Israeli donor, to give millions of dollars to his campaign and then Trump have pro-Israeli policies?
Well, if you're asking, do I think the President of the United States has a conflict of interest? No, I do not, because I know how the President of the United States makes his decisions, and I see it behind the scenes. Now, as the President himself has said, Miriam Adelson, who, by the way, I know, and I have a very good relationship with her, she is very clear about the fact. She doesn't hide the fact that she really loves Israel, and that is part of what motivates her political giving. That is a reality. At the same time, the President of the United States is America first through and through. And let me give you just a couple of examples of this. Number one, we have heard from some pro-Israel voices, some people who really love the state of Israel, that they don't want us to have a relationship with certain Middle Eastern countries. Well, the president, his attitude is, we need to build relationships with any country where we have shared interests, and he's going to do it if it's in the interests of the American people, and he's done exactly that. Number two, there were people, and I remember this criticism of the President of the United States, I just raised it in the context of a conversation that I had with Charlie. I remember when people said that the President of the United States was going to get us into a multi-100,000 troop regime change war for Israel. This was 4 months ago, this was 6 months ago. Now, the people who accused the President of the United States of wanting to get us into a regime change war for Israel, I wonder if they stepped back and said, you know what, we were wrong about that. Because the President of the United States did not want to get us into a regime change war for any other country. He wanted to knock out a nuclear facility and get everybody back home, and that's exactly what he did. So I understand there's some frustrations out there, but I think the President of the United States, more than any president of my lifetime, is willing to stand up to anybody if he thinks it puts the interests of the American people first.
I love that he attacks that question. I love that he doesn't run away from it. He says, listen, do you think we would have gone and made allies with all these Middle Eastern countries if we were controlled by Israel? Probably not. He said, listen, striking the Iran nuclear facilities. Everybody thought that was going to get us into a regime change war. I was one of those guys, nervous about it. Did they take a step back and apologize? I did. I didn't see that third option coming. When you look at all these events and you put them in the context of, is Donald Trump controlled by Israel? And then you ask yourself, would Israel want Donald Trump doing action A, action B? It's kind of easy to come to the conclusion like, no, he's probably not controlled by Israel. That's just when you look at the facts. But I love that J.D. Vance wasn't afraid of the question. I love that he didn't dance around the question. He wasn't angry. He wasn't upset with the question. He just answered it calmly. Show me another politician doing anything like this. Anything like this. You can't. You can't. You'd be hard-pressed to find it. God bless Vance. I do think that he's a shoo-in for 48. There's some more clips we'll get to on the way. We also have Senator Blackburn joining us at 10:35. Looking forward to that conversation as well. And if you're joining us on YouTube and Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate that. It's 10:23. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. It's that time of the year. Everybody's doing health insurance stuff. Everybody's worried about health insurance. Shane doesn't just do it at this time of the year. He does it all year round. And Shane is going to simplify everything for you. Health insurance at times can feel like a math test, confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that bites back. Shane's going to make it simple. Cover Nash is a brand new nationwide PPO plan that will give you the freedom to pick your own doctor anywhere in the U.S. with no referrals, no red tape. Just a $250 deductible, a flat $50 copay for any doctor, even specialists, outpatient surgeries, $250 copay, hospital stays, just $1,000. That's the tip of the iceberg. And here's the kicker: no surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. Maybe that plan's not the perfect fit. That's okay. Shane works with over 75 top-rated companies to find you the best option for your budget and your needs. He can make it work for you. 615-465-0023. That's his phone number. If I'm a betting man, he's at his desk right now. 615-465-0023 or find him online, covernash.com. All right, we're back with more Snap highlights. Again, I might actually need you to send me some. If you're finding me on X, at Chris Hand on Air, send me any Snap highlights that you may have because there's so many good ones out there. It's hard to pick a favorite, but we're open to any suggestions that you may have. We just did the lady who said you could come in. I'm gonna come in your house. I wouldn't recommend it. That's not something I would say is the best option for you. This video is a little bit longer, but this woman is this is post stealing at Walmart. She's not even waiting for the SNAP benefits to run out. She's going to start stealing now. And when you start hearing the food that she's stealing, it's insane. She's stealing ingredients to make stuffed salmon. Stuffed salmon.
Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off. So I only had $22 left in food stamps. So this is what I stole. Okay. They wanted $9 for this.
The brazenness. This is what I stole. They wanted $9 for this. You know why prices get so high? Because people like you steal and then they pass those losses on to other consumers.
I said, I don't got $9.
Clearly.
Then they wanted
Tic Tacs. You're on food stamps. Tic Tacs are not a necessity. Especially red and white Tic Tacs, like minty. You got a big meeting? I'll give you a break. I'll give you a pass. You got a big meeting? Give me something minty. It's like cherry Tic Tacs.
$7 for this. They wanted, sorry, it's all fucked up because it's been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed. I'm
making stuffed salmon. This is needed. We'll come back to her in a little bit.
Wait till you hear how much the U.S. is fining people who enter the country illegally now. And property reevaluations in Tennessee are about to get scrutinized at the state level. Those stories coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. One of the things that we're doing today, if you join us on YouTube and Rumble, we're playing these viral videos about people losing their SNAP benefits. I think we just played my favorite one. This woman, she ran out of SNAP benefits, but she needs to make stuffed salmon for dinner. Needs to.
Stuffed salmon?
Stuffed salmon.
That doesn't sound like a necessity to me.
It doesn't. No, it's not. It's not. So we started that one. It's a bit longer. She's already stealing. She's in her car showing off the items that she stole. And I'm supposed to treat these individuals with sympathy? Sympathy? You don't have to steal. There are food banks popping up all over the country right now to help individuals, right? You don't have to break the law because the Democrats shut down the government. You just don't. Just a pro tip for anybody that's keeping score at home. You don't have to steal. There's the options out there for you. We were also talking about earlier, J.D. Vance last night at the Turning Point USA event, an absolute beast. J.D. Vance is a shoo-in for 48. Unless something catastrophic happens, he's a shoo-in. He was not afraid to answer any tough question, and he got a lot of them. A lot of them. One guy asked him, is Israel manipulating Donald Trump? He said no. He said, would we be making these relationships with Middle Eastern countries if that was the case? Would we have been able to do what we did in Iran and not cause a boots-on-the-ground regime change war if that was the case? I mean, the short and skinny of that is no. If Donald Trump was controlled by Israel, we would have been deep in Iran by now in another regime change war. We wouldn't have built these relationships with these Middle Eastern countries. It would have never happened. Trump has applied plenty of pressure on Israel to get this peace deal done. But I love that J.D. Vance answered these questions, didn't shy away from them. And you know what else he didn't do? He didn't call any of these kids anti-Semitic for asking the question, which I don't know if they know this, but these questions exist. And shouting somebody down by calling them an anti-Semite doesn't make the question go away. What makes the question go away is giving people real answers, and that's what J.D. Vance did last night. He was unbelievable. We'll bring you more of those highlights later on in the show. On the way, we are going to be joined via video on the YouTube stream by Senator Marsha Blackburn. We're looking forward to that. She was in the weeds yesterday on Operation Arctic Frost, as well as calling out Google executives when it came to fabricated AI stories about one Robbie Starbuck and Marsha Blackburn. We'll bring you all that and more with the senator when we return. It's 10:30, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Deportation is not the only potential penalty facing people who enter the U.S. illegally. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Department of Homeland Security has just added a new financial penalty.
DHS has begun issuing $5,000 fines to undocumented immigrants as young as 14 for entering the country between Border Patrol checkpoints. Supporters say the penalty is meant to discourage human smuggling, but the attorney for a teenager apprehended at the U.S.-Canadian border and held by federal officials in Michigan says it's meant to instill fear.
The previous penalty was between $50 and $250. The recently fired city manager in Lewisburg, Marshall County, facing more charges. Police report that Roy Hayslip was caught stalking a woman who had an order of protection against him. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
He was arrested Tuesday for following a former city employee to the gas station. While police say that Hayslip pulled up next to her before watching her pump gas from inside of the store. Police then had to escort her while she dropped her child off at school.
He had been fired earlier this month by the city council for a similar incident. In Nashville, Speaker of the House of Representatives Cameron Sexton has asked the comptroller's office to review property reevaluations in Davidson County. WSMV4's Tracy Cornett.
Listen to this. Sexton said some lower Broadway properties saw more than 300% increases over the last year. He says this can cause businesses to close as tax bills are so high.
Recently, the comptroller, Jason Mumpower's office, found mistakes in how properties were evaluated in Rutherford County. That's the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. We've had some water. Have you noticed it's getting into your basement or your crawl space? Call the best. Call USS. These guys have been keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be since 1994. Decades of experience, 30,000 plus satisfied customers. And it's because of the work that they do. They're going to get the water out of your basement, out of your crawl space, and they're going to make sure it stays out. Maybe you got foundation issues, sagging floors, cracks showing up in the drywall, doors that won't shut right. If that's the case, it's not going to fix itself. Same with the waterproofing. Call USS today. They're going to use American-made adjustable steel supports built to last, back with a transferable warranty. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, these guys are going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your home, call the best. Call who we trust. Call United Structural Systems. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems. These guys are built on integrity, committed to protecting what matters. USSTN.com. All right, we're back. We're bringing you all the highlights, the highlight reel after highlight reel after highlight reel. Where we last joined our hero, she was bravely marauding the super Walmart because she had to make stuffed salmon for her family. Stunning and brave. Let's rejoin our hero and see what she's up to.
Not paying $7 for that. Okay. Let me show you the most important thing to me.
Bacon.
Short ribs.
Oh,
Take
I lied.
off the label so that you don't beep.
Pro tip. Pro tip. Take off the label so you don't set off the alarms. Good to know.
Get your fucking meat. How many do you think that I got?
It's a big purse. No label.
How many short ribs is that?
It's tough to know without the label.
Can I be real?
Please.
More of y'all bitch ass niggas should have started taking shit from the motherfucking corporations a long time ago. Y'all just didn't have that shit in your motherfucking bones. Get out there and get in the motherfucking field like I told you. Everything out here is yours. Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will.
What? No, they call that stealing. They call that stealing. I don't know if we have time to continue with her. We'll come back. We'll rejoin our hero in the next commercial break. Stunning and Brave. It's 10:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show. We're live on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Joining us now live on the stream via video, Senator Marsha Blackburn is on the show. What's up, Senator? How are you?
Oh, listen, we are here in D.C. trying to get the government back open. And of course, the Democrats continue to vote no. They don't want to pay the troops or the FAA or the TSA or federal employees that are working. They don't want to extend the SNAP benefits, even though they said, well, they would vote for SNAP for a month. It is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. But, you know, Chris, as we know, they have always said Obamacare was just one step on the path to government-run, single-payer, socialist-style healthcare.
Yep.
And they're wanting to keep the Biden bonus COVID credits and make certain that the income caps never go back on, and make certain that people have $0 premiums in Obamacare. The way they had handled it during COVID with Joe Biden's approach, people making over $500,000 a year were getting a subsidy to buy Obamacare. And other people were paying $0 to get Obamacare. And we're saying no. The subsidy payments at 400% of poverty, a family of four with an income of $128,600. This is what is made permanent, and we will revert to that because guess what, Democrats? COVID is over. It's over.
Thank God it is. How frustrating is it to you when you see Chuck Schumer giving a speech on the floor and he's saying, you know, Donald Trump is over there in Malaysia and he's only dancing on the tarmac and he should be over here reopening the government. Meanwhile, by all intents and purposes, it seems like it was a very successful trip to Asia, $2 trillion in investments coming in, and Donald Trump doesn't need to be in D.C. to reopen the government. Your thoughts?
Well, you're right about that. And our soybean farmers in West Tennessee are going to be so pleased that the Chinese are going to immediately go back to meeting their quotas and make those purchases. Now, the people that are obstructing, bear in mind, Chuck Schumer had planned this. He wanted this shut down because it got him, he thought, closer to giving health care to illegal aliens and having you and me, the taxpayers, pay for it. And he felt like that it also got him another step closer to government-run health care. So they have planned this thing out. They could open it. We have offered them 14 opportunities to vote yes on a clean CR. And bear in mind, the CR, the clean CR, these are Joe Biden's budget numbers. The Democrats have voted for these numbers not once or twice, but 5 times. 5 times. And now, because they don't like Donald Trump and they're trying to get leverage, as they say, they are voting against it, and people are suffering. I tell you, my team and I, we've been on the phone with people from churches and food banks and elected officials, and looking at ways to help meet the need and support meeting the need of people, that not only those that are on SNAP, Chris, but think about this. You've got TSA workers, FAA workers, government workers that are not getting a paycheck, and they're also going to be showing up at the churches and at the food banks to get food during this time.
I mean, it's a lot easier for me to feel sympathy for the TSA workers, for the military members, air traffic controllers. But you see a lot of these SNAP benefit videos that are going viral on the internet right now, where these SNAP recipients are threatening violence, saying that they're going to be going to these grocery stores and stealing. And they have a common thread between them. They all seem to be overweight. And I have a hard time feeling sympathy. I go on Amazon and I see that you can get a 24-pack of sugar-free Red Bull on your SNAP benefits. You can get whey protein. You can bulk up, Senator, on SNAP benefits. This program needs real reform. What are you guys talking about when it comes to that?
And this is one of the processes where you say artificial intelligence can help with this to make certain that people that need the benefits are getting the benefits. I know that the USDA is working on modernizing some of these systems, and that USDA, and which is led by Brooke Rollins, she's the secretary there, and then of course Health and Human Services with Secretary Bobby Kennedy, they're talking about how you bring benefit programs together so that you've got a caseworker who is looking at all of these benefits in total and making certain that there's not duplication, or making certain that people are not getting benefits that they are not entitled to.
Well, I've also seen a lot of viral videos, and I wanted to bring it to your attention, of individuals talking about how people are selling the SNAP benefits on the street. And this is something that I've seen personally when I was a younger man living in Richmond. You'd go walk to the convenience store and somebody would say, "Hey, what are you buying in there?" And I'd say, "I don't know, some chips or something." And you'd go, "Okay, well, how about you give me $5 and you can spend 10, and then they'd give you a SNAP card." How are we gonna root out that kind of fraud in the program?
And of course, making certain that people that need the benefits get the benefits. I think that's it. And then there's also a push to change what can be paid for with the SNAP, with the EBT cards. And there's been some tightening. There was some tightening on those allowances during the first Trump term. And I know that Secretary Rollins and Secretary Kennedy are looking at how that can be used to make certain it's used for staples and for fresh produce, for appropriate dairy products. And with our markets, our farmers markets in Tennessee, making certain that those cards can be used at the farmers markets. And I know there's a push to say, okay, then if it's at a farmers market, $1 will give you $2 worth of goods.
I like that.
And yes, so those are items that are all under consideration.
Well, we appreciate you guys working behind the scenes on that. We'll definitely we'll be checking back in on that. We're on the line with Senator Marsha Blackburn, soon to be governor of Tennessee, if anybody's keeping score at home. But I do want to talk to you about Senate business, Arctic frost, more developments coming out yesterday. You were there with Chuck Grassley. What was it like when you found these revelations, and what do we do next?
And I really kind of chuckled when I found out they had been surveilling me, because during the 2016, after the 2016 election, I vice chaired President Trump's transition. And we were told that they surveilled us. The Obama DOJ was surveilling us, but then the Biden DOJ would never respond and confirm that, because we found this out in 2020, of course. And so this was kind of the second time around the bend on this with me. And of course, it is just so frustrating and it is so ridiculous. What we have learned is you've got the 9 of us in the Senate, and Jack Smith and his cronies, his CR-15 unit, which, by the way, Kash Patel fired every one of these people. Thank goodness.
Yep.
And they went to this liberal judge, Judge Boasberg. He is a leftist. He was appointed by Obama. And they got 197 subpoenas in total. And they were going after 430 individuals. Now, of the 9 senators that they were trying to surveil, what they did was to have Judge Boasberg issue a subpoena with no predicate, just an assumption. Well, they know Trump. They could have been involved. They supported Trump. They had questions about the 2020 election and the outcomes. They were talking to Trump. We want to surveil them. So he did that. But Chris, not only did he do the subpoena, we now have the copy of the non-disclosure order, a non-disclosure order that he put on top of the subpoena to the wireless companies. And my wireless company is Verizon. And they said, okay, you've got to turn over all these records from 2021, and then you cannot talk to this individual, me, for a year.
So this is an important point that I wanted to ask you about. So Senator Ted Cruz said that AT&T ignored that portion of the request and told him about it anyway.
That's right.
Did Verizon also ignore that portion of the request and notify you?
No, Verizon never.
So are you on T-Mobile now, or what's the deal?
I'm very careful with my phone. But anyway, here's what Boasberg said about me and the others that were not on AT&T. He said that the court has reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in destruction of or tampering with evidence. Now, bear in mind, issuing the subpoena in the first place and them surveilling us is a violation of our First and Fourth Amendment rights. It's a violation of the separation of powers. It is a violation of the Speech and Debate Clause, and it is a violation of the Stored Communications Act. So this is how far out over their skis they were in this investigation, and it shows you how determined they were to take down President Donald Trump. And of course, it all backfired. And because we have whistleblowers and we have Kash Patel and A.G. Bondi, we're finding out about this. It is clearly 2 tiers of justice. And it's why we are working to end this 2 tiers of justice and root out every last one of these activists that are working over at the FBI and the DOJ and are trying to protect the deep state. They need to be fired. They don't need to be working for the American people because they're working against them.
So, and I understand where you say they need to be fired, but I think that they need to be held accountable even further. And knowing how far the left would have been willing to go and were willing to go against conservatives during the Biden administration, are we willing to go that far? Will we see arrests? Will we see impeachments? What do you want to see as the senator from Tennessee?
Yes, we've already called on the House to begin impeachment proceedings on Judge Boasberg. He should be removed from the bench. Also, I led a letter with my colleagues to Attorney General Bondi to begin to refer Jack Smith and the other attorneys that worked on the Arctic frost to the Office of Professional Conduct. That gives us the opportunity to then begin disbarment proceedings, have the bar in Tennessee and New York begin disbarment proceedings of Jack Smith. Also, we're going to begin hearings so that we can turn evidence over to the DOJ. We want to bring in Jack Smith and also the wireless companies, the CEOs of the wireless companies. And if there are, and we know crimes were committed, they should be prosecuted and held accountable to the full extent of the law. This has to stop.
What if you're betting, you're giving betting odds, what percentage do you think that we're going to see the main players in this Arctic frost plot get 3 hots and a cot, some silver bracelets, and some nice bars?
And I think that just as we have the indictment of James Comey and some folks right now, and that trial I think is going to be later this year, we think if that is appropriate, that should take place, but we do want to move for an indictment, and we do hope that there will be a trial.
All right, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We're talking with Senator Marsha Blackburn. Before I let you go, yesterday you also grilled the Google CEO because of what their AI was saying about Robbie Starbuck and you with a fake story that's been made up. I mentioned earlier in the show, this is an excuse why, a reason why you tell your kids don't use AI for research. Explain to me what happened with Robbie Starbuck and Google's AI platform Gemini and how you got roped into it and what the outcomes of yesterday are going to be.
Yeah, well, of course, Robbie's a friend, and he had mentioned all of this that was made up about him by Gemma, which is Google's AI, their platform.
Yep.
So I said, well, we've got the Google CEO coming before us. Let me get the information and we'll see what we can do. So they send this guy, this vice president in for the committee. And what we had done, Robbie went into the made up story and put in, did Marsha Blackburn defend Robbie Starbuck? And it creates this entire story about me defending Robbie and has all these links to these articles, which of course the links don't work. They're not there because the whole thing's fiction. It is the whole thing made up. And here's the thing that's the kicker. The Google guy said, when I questioned about it and continued to come at him about this, he said, well, Gemma, their tool, AI tool, sometimes has hallucinations and it will hallucinate. I said, well, then you need to take it down. Yeah. Because if Gemma is on some drug that they're hallucinating, get them into rehab.
Yeah, we don't need AI acting like Janet Yellen on a trip to Asia.
You're right. You're right. So anyway, we went back and forth on this. And so where my team and I this morning have been working on the follow-up with Google about this. It is dangerous. They're making up stuff about people that there is not one thread of anything that ties them to what is being made up. And here's the thing, Chris, is these AI platforms are using data. They're scraping data to train the LLMs. And what we know is that they are biased against conservatives.
Yep.
So their assumptions are that conservatives would do bad things, illegal things. And this is what is being spit out. So we're on Google to take Gemma down, and we're continuing to work on that. I appreciate Robbie Starbuck allowing us to use his example yesterday in the hearing.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you going after them for it. And something I did notice that I wanted to make note of, which I don't see a lot of people doing. The term social media influencer is thrown around a lot, and I think it's actually a derogatory term, and I think it's used to stamp out dissent and discredit individuals. You didn't refer to Robbie as a social media influencer. You referred to him as a thought leader, and I wanted to give you credit for that because it was something that I definitely noticed. Senator Marsha Blackburn, where can we keep up with you on social media as the news of the day progresses?
You're going to find me at At Marsha Blackburn.
At Marsha Blackburn. And good luck on the governor race. We'll be looking forward to some more updates from you on the way. Marsha Blackburn on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, we're back on the stream. What do you guys think of Marsha Blackburn? I'm reading some of the comments. Listen, I get that she gets some criticism. But if we're being honest, she's going to be governor of Tennessee. Everybody knows that, right? Like, do we all know that? I think we all know that. So I think it's better to be in a position where we can push these elected officials in the direction we want to go, as opposed to going scorched earth the other way. I'm grateful for the time that we had with her. We do want to do some of these EBT highlights, because why not? Where we last saw our hero, she had just stolen some short ribs, a lot of short ribs. She discussed some pro tips on how to remove the sensor tags, so that way it ain't beeping when you're sneaking out with the short ribs in your purse. And she's getting a little bit more hostile, because people have the audacity to want her to pay for those short ribs. Let's rejoin our hero.
Ass niggas should have started taking shit from the motherfucking corporations a long time ago. Y'all just didn't have that shit in your motherfucking bones. Get out there and get in the motherfucking field like I told you. Everything out here is yours.
She's like black female Tony Montana. The world is yours. The world is yours. Get off the field. Get on the field. Get off the bench. Get in the game.
Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will.
They call it stealing.
I call that shit eminent domain.
I don't think she knows what that means.
One thing I learned from the white men, take it!
She learned that.
Hey, now! Take it! I don't give a fuck who's already sitting there. I don't give a fuck if your land was already established. Bitch, it's mine now, and I want it. That is what we should be preaching in the land to the fucking masses. Act more like a white man. Take it for yourself, bitch.
Slay, queen. Slay.
And you won't be worried about who don't got it. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
Get out there.
Learning a lot.
And ravish.
She sounds insane. Get out there and ravish. Ravish.
Last but not least, go in that church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid. Get in there. Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You've been tithing.
Oh, don't just steal from Walmart. Steal from the church, too. Special place in hell for these kinds of people. Special place in hell. There's about a minute left with our hero. When we get back in the next commercial break, we'll dive into how it is that we steal from churches during these hard times. Because why not? Why not?
Mattress purchases designed to elevate your comfort and sleep experience. Plus, you can snooze now and pay later with 0% interest for 72 months. Ashley's Black Friday mattress event. Don't miss it.
This is WSMV4 News Midday.
All right, there is a chill in the air. Maybe you would call it bone chilling. Thanks for joining us here on WSMV4 News Today.
It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton's calling for a state review of Davidson County's latest property reappraisals, citing massive increases in downtown Nashville values. Some properties, including bars owned by Kid Rock and Garth Brooks, saw jumps of more than $45 million. Sexton says the spike could force businesses to close and that the appeals process is too slow. The county assessor defends the process is fair and welcomes the review. In our nation's capital, improving relations between the world's two largest economies, China and the U.S., is good for Tennessee. So says Tennessee U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn, telling WTN's Chris Hanshow moments ago President Trump's trip to Asia is benefiting farmers.
Our soybean farmers in West Tennessee are going to be so pleased that the Chinese are going to immediately go back to meeting their quotas and make those purchases.
China agreeing to purchase 25 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans annually for the next 3 years, starting with 12 million tons between now and January. Rachel Scott's traveling with President Trump in South Korea.
The president's entire trip here in Asia was building to this high-stakes moment, this face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi. After months of going tit-for-tat on trade, the president announcing a one-year truce.
Shutdown is putting a strain on the nation's air traffic controllers, but Doug Crulin, president and CEO at Nashville International Airport, telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis that the professionals here are staying on the job, even though they're not getting paid.
All of them are currently not being paid, but they at BNA, they have been doing a great job of showing up and doing their job. And, you know, we've set all-time records in October for passengers, and they've been going through this stress right now. So very thankful for their dedication and professionalism.
Yesterday, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association said the system is being put under intense strain by the government shutdown. There's supposed to be another vote today in the Senate to try to break the gridlock. Lipscomb University students reacting to the news that a 25-year-old woman was arrested for threatening to blow up the school. This student speaking to Channel 4.
I think it's heavy. You always hate to hear things like that. I don't know. I feel like the security here is pretty safe, and I feel like if they neutralized it, I think I'm okay. But it's sad for sure to hear that.
Carissa Hamlet allegedly made the threat in a Facebook post after the school's principal forced male students that showed up with red ties honoring Charlie Kirk to take them off. The principal was reassigned. That led to some teachers protesting. Hamlet's threat was allegedly in response to the school's handling of that incident. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Ooh, we're back. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This may be the most fun we've had. And I'm getting some people sending me some new ones on social media. Shout out to Forrest1776. I'll get to that one a little bit later in the show. We last joined our hero. She's making stuffed salmon. She's got short ribs on deck for tomorrow. And she's saying that you also, during these trying times, you should be infiltrating churches. Churches. Do tell.
And radish. Last but not least, go in that church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid.
Go in the church and infiltrate. Don't be stupid. It sounds like an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp. Like, sounds pretty dumb already. Continue.
Get in there. Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You've been tithing. Say your lights is off. You need a stipend. You need some food. Go to the church. Ask for help. If the pastor don't help you out, blast them on social media. Quickest way to fuck up the church's money is ask for some. Go do it.
I mean, that's next level evil, right? Is that next level evil or not? Oh, you know what else you should do? You should lie to your local church, and then when they tell you no because they realize that you're a scam artist, blast them on social media. Unbelievable.
See what you get. Report back to a real bitch. Let me know. If the church doesn't help you after all those tithes you gave, well, go ask for your tithes back. See if they can give you a donation form and they can just redonate your money back to you. See if they can do that.
Pro tip, they were never tithing in the first place. We'll have more of these during every commercial break. Hang out with us. And hit like, hit subscribe, drop a comment, jump in the chat, do all the things. We appreciate you. What's up? It's 11:06, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Mason Fleming producing, doing a bang-up job today. We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Ken, have you seen Mason just going full speed, even during commercial breaks?
I have.
We've been, I don't know if you noticed, but during the commercial breaks, we've been finding viral videos of SNAP and EBT recipients.
I heard that.
Who are promising to steal should they lose their benefits.
Not just from stores, though.
Yeah, this last lady we played, she's like, I'm gonna go into the church and start lying to them and say I need some rent money. She said if they tell me no, I'm just gonna post on social media that they're not helping me, and I'm gonna mess up their money for good.
Wild. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wild.
Special place in hell for people like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the people who actually need these benefits.
Yep.
There is a huge difference. I don't want kids to go hungry. I don't want single moms to go hungry. There are people that absolutely do need these benefits. Then there's other people that are just fully taking advantage of these benefits. I mentioned this to Marsha Blackburn, and I've seen it as a kid living in Richmond. I lived in a neighborhood called Churchill. And there was a store down the street we affectionately referred to as Hamburger because they had a hamburger painted on the outside of the store. So we would walk down the street, we'd go to Hamburger, and without fail, like I'm 21, 22, without fail, every time we would go down there, you would have somebody saying, hey, man, what are you buying in there? And I'd tell them, and they'd say, oh, perfect. Hey, give me $5 and I'll let you spend 15 on my EBT card. I'll let you spend 10 on my EBT card. And as a 20-something-year-old kid, I went, deal? Absolutely.
Sure.
Because why not? I'm not thinking about the long-term repercussions. I'm thinking about saving some money.
Right.
And this is a grift that goes on a lot of different places. In fact, one guy actually said, New York guy, said that this is why people are actually upset that they're losing food stamps. A lot of the videos that I'm playing on the stream are expletives. They have expletives, so they are explicit. But this guy's just speaking facts, and smart guy from New York, and Richie Sama 119 on TikTok, and he said let me give you the skinny on why people are actually upset that they're losing their SNAP and EBT benefits.
All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Like, the real reason why a lot of people are upset about this whole food stamps, SNAP benefit thing, bro, is because they're selling their food stamps, bro. They're selling them. I'm telling you, they are selling their food stamps, bro. You know how many people in New York and other states right now are going to the corner store, the deli, and they're selling their food stamps, bro? They're selling, that's why they're getting like $4,000, $3,000 in food stamps, and they're selling it for cash. They'll get $4,000 in food stamps, and they'll just take like $1,000 in cash. Like, bro, like that's happening like everywhere. That's why they're mad. That is exactly why they're mad right now. And you know the thing about it too? They will never admit to selling their food stamps.
No, they won't admit it. Why would you? Why would you mess up a good scam? There's actually there's news stories that you can see. You can find them online. I didn't pull it, but I was doing research last night. My wife always says, "Is this really research, or are you just watching viral videos?" Says, "A little bit of both. A little bit of both." Not gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna get away with it because we're gonna play them during the commercial breaks. And she said, "All right, fine." But I was doing this research, and you see like news reports, local TV, where they'll be like pizza joint busted because everything that they were using was being bought on SNAP benefits because they were going and finding that guy down at the corner store, and they were like, "Hey, here's $1,000. Give us the 4,000. Let us stock our shelves." Insane. This is where we're at. And the Democrats want all of these people who are upset, who have been scamming the system, to be mad at Donald Trump for this. No. Some Democrats are starting to wake up. We had a Democrat out of New Jersey, and maybe he's just nervous because he knows what time it is in New Jersey, and he sees the surge of Republicans, and he's a little bit more nervous than the other guys. Rep. Gottheimer, he said, "Let's just open the government. Can we just open the government?"
Well, I think it doesn't solve the health insurance problem, the premium problem. I think what's a very fair deal and is open the government and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more. Well, I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, Senator Thune has offered that, I believe. He said he'd offered up a vote that we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. I think when put to it, you're going to see Democrat and Republicans, senators and congressmen and women want to vote for that. Why would you not want to vote to extend help with these tax credits, get premiums down for people? People are getting hurt right now in their pocketbooks. They're really need help. So why not give them some help?
Just open the government, bro. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Not all Democrats are taking the same position as this guy from New Jersey. Senator Ben Lujan, a Democrat out of New Mexico, he tried to get a vote for SNAP only yesterday. He was trying to push that on the floor. Senator John Thune then responded. He was not exactly happy about this at all. This is how the exchange started.
Pass this bill now, fund SNAP, fund WIC, before this hunger crisis hits our communities. So, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to immediate consideration of S 3071 introduced earlier today, that the bill be considered read 3 times and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
So he's putting up this bill, and he wants them to vote on it to fund SNAP, and he's doing this so that way he can say the Republicans said no. And John Thune, who I don't know, I haven't been completely sold on the guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't think anybody in the MAGA movement is completely sold on John Thune. But John Thune hears this and he says, "Hey, knucklehead." I think maybe that's my own paraphrasing. He says, "Hey, knucklehead, we have voted to fund SNAP 13 times now. When we voted to open the government, it's the Democrats who have voted to keep it defunded."
Let me just point out, if I might, that we are 29 days into a Democrat shutdown. And the senator from New Mexico was absolutely right. SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out, 29 days in, that, there might be some consequences.
I love the fire. And no, they knew the consequences were coming. They were just hoping that the leverage would be in their favor. Of course, now we're seeing with poll numbers that that's not the case. The Republicans are actually gaining support through all of this. Democrats are being viewed as out of touch with most Americans. Senator Thune rightfully and righteously pissed.
There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in. And they've done their best to make sure that a lot of these programs are funded. But at some point, the government runs out of money. 13 times people over here voted to fund SNAP. 13 times they voted to fund WIC. My aching back.
Miss me with the bovine scatology, says Senator Thune. My aching back.
13 times people over here voted to fund SNAP. 13 times they voted to fund WIC. My aching back. Finally realized this thing has consequences. Well, you know what? What Democrats are doing here, they're making plans to keep the shutdown going.
He's right, He's right. Democrat voters are making plans to loot and raid the grocery stores. We've been playing those videos during every commercial break on Super Talk TV. But you got to ask yourself, who is getting a lot of these benefits? A lot of these benefits are not going to American citizens, and I think that's important to point out. I caught this clip, local TV in Omaha, Nebraska, KETV. And KETV says the quiet part out loud. A lot of these taxpayer-funded benefits don't even go to American citizens. Listen to this.
Exploring all options, African Immigrant Family Services says that more than 90% of the families they help rely on food assistance.
What's that you say? African Immigrant Family Services in Omaha, Nebraska says 90% of the families they help rely on food assistance. Wasn't there a whole thing about immigrants to this country not being a drain on this country? What happened to that? I got one clip that I can play for you. This is what we're staring down the barrel at. I mentioned to my wife, hey, for the next week or two, maybe we do our groceries on delivery because it's going to get crazy in there. It's going to get crazy in this. Listen to this woman who is staring down the barrel of a no SNAP November. She's insane. She's dressed like Kenny from South Park, and she's like clinically insane. Just full disclosure. I don't think she swears, but just keep your finger on the dump button just in case. I'm making Mason sweat a little bit.
I just wanted to come real fast just to make this video, just to make something very, very clear to the white man. Black Americans do not care about your government shutdown, and Black Americans do not care about you taking away our EBT and our government assistance, because Black Americans never depended on the American government to take care of us and feed us because we never could.
So, for starters, it's not just Black Americans on EBT and SNAP and WIC. It's not a white man versus black man issue. I know plenty of black guys with way more money than I have, much more successful, and I'm happy for them. And I truly am. But congratulations, awesome. Why is this a race thing? Why is it a race thing? It's a race thing now. It's a race thing. And what you'll hear is while she's never depended on the government for anything, she's going to get the free food that the government gives her taken away. And so she's going to threaten to resorting to cannibalism of white people. Okay.
We were never able to depend on the government in spite of what you may say and what you may try to force us to believe. So you can sit back and you can mock, you can laugh, and you can think that you're about to starve us to death. But I'm here to let you know that we are going to eat regardless, even if we have to hunt you animals down and roast and eat you, the delectable crackers and cheese.
Clinically insane. Make insane asylums great again. Lock her up. Listen, what? We've never depended on the government for anything. The government's trying to starve us. What? I thought you didn't depend on the government for anything. How dare the government try and starve me? I've never depended on them for anything. And if they don't give me my money for food, they're starving me. Okay. I'm lost. And that's before we even get to the threats of cannibalism. What'd she say? The delectable cracker and cheese? If she wasn't so insane, it might be a little bit funny. She said, go ahead, mock and laugh. I might.
The delectable crackers and cheese. We will make it happen if we have to. Trust and believe me. And if it takes this government shutdown for black people to finally come from under the government and understand that we don't need to be paying our taxes into this government, what we really need to be doing is taking care of one another, buying land and growing our own food and building our own nation. If this government shutdown and starvation is what it's going to take, then let the party begin.
Okay. It's a lot to unpack there. A lot. I actually like the idea of not being dependent on the government. I like the idea of you going and buying land and growing your own food and getting animals and stuff. I think that's a smart play. I don't agree with much else that she said. And believe it or not, out of all the videos I found last night on the internet, these viral videos of SNAP recipients losing their minds because the Democrats are keeping the government closed, none of them blame the Democrats. And that video that you just heard, that was the most clean. Every other video used curse words. Every single other one. She actually sounded smarter than the majority of the videos that we have played during commercial breaks on the YouTube and Rumble stream. Believe it or not. I'll have another one of those unedited videos on the YouTube stream if you join us over there. And Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. We'll do that during the commercial break. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Talk about these guys all the time, but let me break it down for you a little bit more in depth. Does your water smell bad? Is it staining your clothes when you wash them? These are red flags, okay? You need to call Better Water if this is the case. They'll test your water for free. And they might find some nasty stuff in your water. Talking about sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. Now, if you have that stuff in your water after they test it for free, they got something to fix it. Better Water offers a range of options: reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. Better Water has you covered, and they can clean up the junk that's in your tap. These guys are local, based out of Smyrna. They serve all of Middle Tennessee. They're already doing the water at the local coffee shops around town and at the hospitals. You've probably already tasted their work, and you don't even know it. But it's time for you to stop drinking the junk out of your tap at your house. Stop bathing in it. Stop showering in it. Call Better Water today. 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063, or find them online, betterwater.com. All right, we're back. Hello. How are you? Did that lady not look like Kenny from South Park? Is that just me? She looks like Kenny from South Park, right? Black Kenny. So dumb. All right, I wanted to keep going with our friend who's making the stuffed salmon, because she's pretty good. She's one of my faves. Here she is. We had about a minute left. She had just been talking about stuffed salmon, and now she's on to robbing churches, because why not? Modern problems require modern solutions, right? Did we learn anything from Dave Chappelle? All right, let's continue with our hero.
Get in there. Ask them for some rent money. Ask them for some help. You've been tithing. Say your lights is off. You need a stipend. You need some food. Go to the church. Ask for help. If the pastor don't help you out, blast them on social media. Quickest way to fuck up the church's money is ask for some. Go do it. See what you get. Report back to a real bitch. Let me know. If the church doesn't help you after all those tithes you gave, well, go ask for your tithes back. See if they can give you a donation form and they can just redonate your money back to you. See if they can do that.
She was never
tithing. If they can't,
she was never
tithing. I want you to come back under this post and give me the reason why they said they cannot reimburse you back the money you and your family have given to them for years. Also, why they can't help you.
Jayla got an attitude. That's her TikTok handle. In case you want to send her a message or, I don't know, report her to the FBI or something. We'll be back with more. Hang out with us. Hit like, hit subscribe.
A massive pothole on I-40 west of Nashville is causing a lot of problems and driving up at drivers' automobile repair bills. We'll tell you about it at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. What was that? Was that you? Was that me?
That's my bad, boys.
That's all right. That's all right.
I shut him up real fast.
I'll forgive Ken. Mason, on the other hand, I'm still salty about the lightning being delayed yesterday during the lightning round.
Who's able to play clips on the stream because of me again?
That was part of the redemption, the redemption arc of Mason. I said we're gonna do things during every commercial break during the show today, and we've been
no
doing
hesitation.
We've been doing it solid, man.
I think it's been awesome.
Shout out to the stream. The stream is clutch. Hail to the chat on YouTube and Rumble. Love you guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Steven is on the road. He's been waiting. He wants to talk about looters. Why would anybody be looting, Steven?
Man, this is going to be a big one. I think to be the first of the month, starting next month, it's going to be ugly, man. We're already seeing all the social media videos of everybody. Now you see the stuff that you're showing. Now you can understand why they can't keep a job and they need to be on SNAP benefits in the first place because they're so crazy. But, I'm just thinking, man, I hope that some of these communities, especially inner city communities and Section 8 areas where the grocery stores are, they need to go ahead and start getting security out front.
You're absolutely right. Yep. You're absolutely right.
I would even, like Walmart and stuff like that, I would even just go ahead and park some paddy wagons out front, get some police sitting out there roaming in the store for the first few days, I would even pull in prison buses and just get ready to start filling them up because I think once this starts going viral, if it starts to go viral and gets bad, they're not just going to be going in and taking groceries. They're going to be getting every freaking thing, man. So,
but listen, Steve, if you got to feed your family, nobody should be standing between you and that Gucci handbag.
Well, that's another thing. That last girl you was showing, she was talking about going in and scamming the church. I mean, if the government fails you, that's the only place that's going to feed you. Really, is going to be the church.
Yep.
So if you start going to food banks and going to churches and trying to pull that stuff off, man, that's not just bad on society. That's what you said. There's a special place in hell for them people. But,
100%. I mean, this lady was like, she's like, you've been tithing, and I appreciate the call, Steve. She's like, you've been tithing. It's like, have you? She's like, go to that church and tell them that you need money for lights, you need money for rent, and if they tell you no, let's blast them on social media and mess up their money. And it's like, Are you that evil? Are you that evil? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that there are people that aren't that evil. But unfortunately, I know that there are. I pray people have a heart change. Let's go to Dan and Steve on the road. What's up, Dan?
Hey, buddy.
What do you got?
I'm just telling you right now that, I grew up in Memphis, and I've been in retail for 25 years. I've seen the abuse of the EBT. It used to be food stamps.
Yep.
Just pieces of paper. Anyway, I don't know what this woman's talking about. There are more white people. I come from a very poor county in Tennessee, Lower Tennessee, and most of them are on EBT. So it's just proportioned higher for the blacks than the whites, but there's way more white people.
Oh, 100%. And that's one of the...
So don't act like it's only black people starving. I'm sorry.
100%. And I've made this point, and I appreciate the call. I've made this point before. This isn't a race thing. It's a people thing. Like, we were driving back from Virginia. My wife's parents live outside of Charlottesville. And we're driving back, and I've told the story before. We had to stop, bathroom break. You know how kids are. It's like, okay, well, next exit, let's go. And we find a Dollar General. Across the street is an old, rundown motel. Only white people living there. Like, this is southwestern Virginia. Like, guaranteed they're on EBT. Guaranteed they're on food stamps. But, hey, check your privilege. Check your privilege. We're coming after crackers. Okay. It's just tough. It's tough. Is that you?
I'm sorry, boys. I don't know what's going on here.
Ken's got an itchy trigger finger for the headlines.
Goodness.
They're going to start right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes, and I've been checking with Channel 4 on this story, and apparently I still had the website up. So let me bring you the story that I got from Channel 4. It's about a pothole on I-40 that led to about 30 tire replacements yesterday morning. This according to TDOT. Channel 4 says officials said the pothole emerged in the second lane between mile markers 208 and that's 208.6 and 208.8. Crews responded promptly, assisted with tire changes and patching the damaged roadway. Apparently, they're blaming it on the recent rainfall and fluctuating temperatures. They say that always brings potholes, and, of course, we've seen that this week, that type of weather. The FBI's secretive Arctic frost investigations drawing fire for allegedly targeting hundreds of Republicans tied to efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Critics say the probe swept up lawmakers, media figures, and donors without clear legal grounds. Tennessee U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn tells WTN's Chris Hanshow this morning.
I really kind of chuckled when I found out they had been surveilling me, because during the 2016, after the 2016 election, I vice chaired President Trump's transition, and we were told that they surveilled us. The Obama DOJ was surveilling us, but then the Biden DOJ would never respond and confirm that, because we found this out in 2020, of course.
FBI Director Kash Patel has since shut down that unit and fired the FBI agents involved, calling the surveillance baseless. Supporters argue it was necessary in response to threats against what they call threats against democracy. The push is on to get as many Americans as possible vaccinated against the flu. Here's Jim Ryan.
The vaccine that flows out to doctors' offices, pharmacies, and clinics every year is not an absolute guarantee that you won't end up getting the flu. But Dr. Lashay Ajayi, the incoming chair of the American Medical Association, says it can certainly soften the blow. In 2024, for example,
it decreased the rate of hospitalizations by about 40% in adults and by about 50 to 60% in kids.
So far this year, the CDC says nearly 300 children who tested positive for influenza have died. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Well, not here in Tennessee. The State Department of Health reports flu-like illness activity across the state is minimal. The weekly flu surveillance includes data from emergency departments, outpatient visits, and lab-confirmed flu cases. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and I'm excited to tell you about a brand new partnership that we have on the Chris Hand Show with a group called All Pro Dad. And this is a message for dads out there, but also families, single moms, grandparents. Y'all need to listen up. Powerful experience coming to Nashville. It's the All-Pro Dad Experience at Nissan Stadium on Friday, November 7th. All-Pro Dad has been working at this mission to help fathers lead and love their families for 30 years now. It was founded by Coach Tony Dungy and Mark Merrill. Their mission is to equip men for the most important job of all, being a dad. But it's also about raising good men. So if you're a single mom, if you're a grandparent, this is for you as well. Here's how it works. 1 minute a day with their play of the day emails, 1 hour a week listening to short podcasts on fatherhood, 1 hour a month through school chapters connecting dads with their kids, and 1 day a year at an All-Pro Dad Experience. That's this event, packed with interactive games, life lessons, quality times with the kids. There's 1,700 chapters worldwide. There's 80 right here in Tennessee, and they're helping fathers raise strong, confident families. So mark your calendar, Friday, November 7th, Nissan Stadium. Give your kids a day that they're never going to forget. Tickets are affordable, like $35 for the whole family. The impact is going to be priceless. I'm going to be there with my kids, and I want to see you there with yours. Go to allprodad.com to register, subscribe, or find a chapter near you. Be the dad your kids deserve. Be an All-Pro Dad. All right, we're back on the stream because this has been fun. I've actually, this has helped the show go by way faster, hasn't it? We got another scholar, soon-to-be scientist, who is losing EBT. And they're delivering a message of hope.
And I just want to come on here and say to you people that be standing in front of the stores and the Good Samaritans and all of that, when November 1st come, and if they don't uplift this shutdown for these SNAP benefits, I'm going to need y'all to mind y'all business.
Good Samaritans, meaning people that pay for their groceries. And when she says, if they don't end this shutdown, I'm assuming she means Democrats.
Please mind y'all business. Those people, they trying to feed their kids, and they trying to go home and just feed their kids. And
I would suggest food banks as opposed to stealing.
I would hate for you to not be able to make it back to your family and for you to not be able to make it back home because you trying to save these billionaire companies. You hear me?
So that's a threat, right? Like that's like a legitimate like death threat. Like you're not going to make it back home.
Of their funds when they actually have insurance on every box of macaroni in there.
True. Yeah. Everything's insured. And when stuff gets stolen, prices go up because they have to recoup those losses. And then they pass it on to regular consumers, Good Samaritans, as you put it, who are paying for those groceries.
So just mind your business and go on. And if you going to be a Good Samaritan and you going to stand there and you going to pay and you going to do all of that, do your part. Do your part. But for those that are out there trying to do what the fuck they got to do, please leave them people alone and let them take that food back to their kids. Let them take that meal back to their kids. Let them feed their kids. Let them feed their husbands and their fathers and their mothers and all that shit don't have nothing to do with you. Because when all this shit is over, you either will be here or you won't.
When it's over, you'll be here or you won't.
Just say that either you gonna make it out or you won't, because people are not gonna let you come in between their kids' next meal. Who the fuck are you?
Words of wisdom, words of hope, words of encouragement from another grateful SNAP recipient. It's 11:39, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us on iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV has been jumping today. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. We've been playing a lot of viral videos that it would be frowned upon by the FCC if we played them on the air. Is that frowned upon?
Highly discouraged.
Highly discouraged.
Yeah.
So we've been doing things exclusively on YouTube today. We're going to try and do this more.
I'm here for it.
I feel like the YouTube chat liked it.
Just a little bit.
So
all 350 of you.
Yep. Shout out to the YouTube chat. We got the lightning round on the way. Real quick, though, Mike in Mount Juliet wants to weigh in on food stamps. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's up, boss? So I own a business that is, let's just say, service-based.
Okay.
So I know for a fact that our industry has struggled with the people selling food stamps. I've seen people within my industry offer to trade out for food stamps. These people aren't mad about their food stamps. What they're mad about is that they can't go buy their junk. They can't go out and do X, Y, and Z with the money that's free from the government. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying everybody, because there are people out there.
100%. Yep. And I'm with you. And I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but I see a lot of these viral videos. And like, there's some things that I do notice, and it's like nails are done, hair's done, makeup's on point. Where are the sacrifices being made?
100%. And I own a small business, so I've been on food stamps, and I can tell you that. Like, it's not about like getting help and getting off of the system. These people end up manipulating the system to where they stay on it and they can't get off of it. And, you know, one thing I've always been told, there's two things. One is if a government can pay you and provide for you, then now they own you. And two,
100%.
It is not the government's responsibility to take care of those in need. It is the responsibility of the church. So my question to anybody out there who's within a church, and I know there's a lot of churches out there, and you guys have been posting the videos and hearing these preachers like, oh, you know, it's my Bentley, like it's for the church, but it's the responsibility of the church.
Yeah.
And that's biblical. It's the responsibility of the church to take care of those in need, not the government.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. And there's definitely sneaker pastors out there, you know, the guys whose shoes are just way too expensive. And you're like, what are you doing? It's not a good look. But there are churches, my church, man, they've been having a food drive here for like the last week because they see what's on the horizon and they're trying to get items stocked up so that people don't go hungry. So there are good churches out there.
Right. And you find out real quick those who truly need help, because they're the ones that are going to those food pantries.
Yep.
They're the ones that are going to actually try to help feed their kids.
Yep. You're absolutely right, man.
Just get online and complain and want to, like, you know, hoot and holler about it. Do you really need help, or are you just lazy and don't want to get a job?
I played a video during the last commercial break, and this woman was like, if you get in the way of somebody at a Walmart who's just trying to feed their kids, you're probably not going to be going home. So it's a clear death threat. And I would just say, they don't have to steal. Like, there are other options, and everybody should understand that. Like, there are other options. They just want it the way they want it.
No, 100%. And I look at my own Facebook feed, and I see so many people on there. They're like, yo, if you need help, reach out.
Yep.
We got you. So, you know, I don't think it's about the SNAP benefits. And it's even more mind-boggling that these people don't understand. And let's just talk about the world in a whole, like on the Democratic side. You know, they don't understand like what they're asking for. You know, the affordable health care. So basically, we kept our prices at X, Y, or Z, and then everything got raised up, but the government's going to pitch in to help with that.
Yep.
And with the Republicans saying, look, no, we're not doing that no more. Like, so it's not about, you know, these people make it out like all these issues that we have that are going on, and, you know, the money and this, that, and the other. It's just mind-baffling that people can't literally do some research and find out what's truly going on.
Yeah, and everybody has a supercomputer in their pocket. It's not like there's a lack of ability to do your own research.
Oh, no, but we live in a society where we want instant gratification. We read a headline, and then we don't want to get into the actual article.
Yep. One of my favorite things to do is I read a headline, and then I go down like 3 or 4 paragraphs and see, especially with the fake news, you'll get to like the 4th, 5th paragraph, and it'll be like, sources familiar with their thinking have revealed. And it's like, oh, so you actually don't have a source that you're putting to this. You're just kind of making stuff up. It's
100%.
wild.
And I think that's the biggest problem, man, that nobody wants to take accountability. We live in a society of, and that's the problem. And even with talking about, and not to bring up issues from yesterday about the whole gun, the sheriff out there in Perry County, everybody knew what that dude was thinking.
Yep.
Everybody knew he was trying to create some sort of hoopla to get his 5 minutes of fame.
Yep.
Unless you got your 15 minutes of TikTok or Instagram fame, you're nobody in today.
Yep.
And that's what we live in. That's a society we live in. And I have two children, and I fear for them. I fear for them because the role models and the people that they look up to are all about exploiting their body.
I would push back on fearing for them. Like I got 4 young kids myself. I don't know how old your kids are, and feel free to share if you want to or not. But I would just say, like, right now, for conservatives, we live in an unprecedented land of opportunity when it comes to raising kids. Because while the left are raising their kids to honor the litter box in the middle school bathroom, we're raising them to honor the Lord. And we're going to have our kids trained up in the ways of the Lord and have their heads on straight, and they're going to be able to run circles around the competition. So I get where you're coming from with the fear part of it, but I also think that with that uncertainty causes an unprecedented level of opportunity to be the overachievers and absolutely crush at every level.
Well, all I can hope is that, they don't look at what society views as the norm and find their own path.
Amen.
Because it is so easy for the younger generation of today to not work, to get out there, try. I've met so many of their friends that are like, I'm going to be a famous influencer, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea what life is about. And you think that, putting something on, a video or putting something on your social media is what makes you who you are. It's frightening on that perspective.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
All I can do is hope that I raise my children to have a clear thought process and that they can make decisions on their own. But I also hope I teach them integrity and to know you don't got to use your body to try to make a dollar.
Amen. Amen. Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job, man. You got your head on straight, and you know what they say about apples and trees. I will also add, and I appreciate the call, Mike, I will also add for the social media influencers, the young kids that want to be social media influencers, to remind them that that overnight success that you see on social media, that took them a decade to get to, okay? It takes 10 years at least to be an overnight success. All that being said, great call from Mike. It is time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
I got a lot of Democrats, and they're competing for the crown of the dumbest comment made yesterday.
I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
Oh, great use of the hotkey. Great use of the hotkey.
I'm on it, except lightning.
Whoopi Goldberg. Maybe you've heard of her. She's our first story in the lightning round. Let's listen to this statement. So they're talking about Biden being investigated and the Biden administration being investigated for the auto pen scandal. I haven't covered it as much. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, we all know this stuff. We all know it's a scam. I'll start covering these with a little bit more seriousness when we start seeing actual accountability. But Whoopi Goldberg yesterday said something about the auto pen scandal that it made me stop in my tracks.
It's kind of crazy. I kind of agree with him. If you, instead of investigating a man who is no longer in office, I would like y'all to find out why the U.S. military is striking vessels without verifying who's in them. Yeah.
Did you miss that? She said instead of investigating a man who is no longer in office, why don't we find out about the narco terrorists that were blowing up in the ocean? Do you remember the energy that you had after Donald Trump got out of office? Does anybody remember that energy? Anybody?
It's a bit aggressive if I remember right.
It was a little aggressive. Now, there was another Democrat that wanted to compete for the dumbest statement of the day with Whoopi Goldberg. That was Nancy Pelosi, which brings us to our next segment in the lightning round. Nancy Pelosi yesterday, she had a heck of a statement when it came to the No Kings protests and the No Kings rallies. Remember that? I mean, I feel like the Democrats have already forgotten about that. Also, Donald Trump has a crown now. He got one in South Korea. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's like the highest civilian honor that they can give, or the highest honor that they can give to somebody that's not like a member of their government.
Oh, wow.
And it's like a legitimate, huge crown, which is just, it's based. It's absolutely based. Anyway, Democrats have forgot about it. Nancy Pelosi's just catching up, and she wanted to make a statement about the No Kings rally.
Because I see the Democrats every day. You saw a march that was not political. And the value of it was that it wasn't political. No King's Day. It was spontaneous, organic, but everybody was there.
Okay. So it wasn't political. It was spontaneous and organic. I thought she was just pretending to be dumb. Now I'm not sure she's pretending.
Oh, yeah.
All right, one more Democrat for the dumbest comment of the day yesterday, okay? Next story in the lightning round. And then I want you guys on YouTube to leave a comment as to who you think had the dumbest comment, okay? This is Gavin Newsom yesterday.
And we'll continue to build on the legacy, I would argue, of our former president, who I think was one of the most successful presidents in the last century.
Okay. He's being interviewed by Jonathan Karl of ABC. Gavin Newsom says Joe Biden was one of the most successful presidents in the last century. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, I want you to take a look at Jonathan Karl's face. His face looks like Gavin Newsom just farted something vile. Because even Jonathan Karl from Fake News ABC could not believe the words that were coming out of Gavin Newsom's mouth.
Was one of the most successful presidents in the last century, and that is Joe Biden. And I will defend that to my grave.
Oh, okay. So you tell me in the comments on YouTube. Dumbest Democrat comment of the day yesterday. Was it Whoopi Goldberg saying, stop investigating a man who's no longer in office?
Obviously.
Was it Nancy Pelosi saying that the No Kings protests were not political and were totally spontaneous and organic?
Makes sense.
Or was it Gavin Newsom saying that Joe Biden was one of the greatest, most successful presidents in the last century, and he'll defend it to his grave? You let me know. 11:53. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Halloween season is here. You still got some time to put the kids to work and get some Busy Bee perks. Here's what you got to do. Buy a pumpkin. Make the kids carve Buzz the Bee into the pumpkin. Post it on social media. Tag Busy Bee. And you, my friend, get a free Beehive Club membership. You don't even have to tell the kids why you're doing it. Just make them do it. Tell them if they don't, they're not going trick-or-treating. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now for the real treats. If you need HVAC service, schedule your fall maintenance, get free dryer vent cleaning. That's a $229 value. Plumbing issues, any repair, they'll flush your water heater for free. Trust me, your pipes are going to thank you. And if you're thinking about a new HVAC system, they got a scary good deal. Free 10-year parts, 5-year labor warranty. That is a $750 value, and that's coming with any system install. Don't let the home headaches haunt you. Call Busy Bee today. Where the service is solid, the savings, spooky good. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. So I just got the call. The baseball game is on tonight. So you know what that means. After the game, the mud will be on the carpets because the kids aren't going to take their cleats off before they come in the house. They never do. I always tell them they don't listen. But I don't freak out. I call Zero Res. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. The carpets and upholstery isn't just going to look insanely clean. It's going to stay clean longer, or at least until the next baseball game. Kids can sprawl out. Dogs can roll around. We don't have to worry about what's in the fibers. It's not just carpets. They do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. This is perfect for you. It's not going to break the bank. $45, any room. Right now, you need to take advantage of that. Give my friends at Zero Res a call. Everybody recommends them. 98% on Facebook recommendations. You can't go wrong with Zero Res. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. Or find them online and book there. ZeroResNashville.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
$11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Joined in studio by Chad Benson. What's up, dude?
What's happening, sir?
Not much. What's up with you?
Nothing. I'm ready to roll. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, you look like you're ready for fun.
I am. Just got back from my killing spree.
Chad's walking around dressed as a deranged clown.
Yeah, there was a girl down. One of the ladies that works here is downstairs. Not a fan of clowns. Saw me coming, ran and hid in her room, and terrified.
Really?
Yeah.
You get an email from HR later?
Probably, but you know what? I didn't know. I was just walking down the hall.
There you go. What are you talking about today?
You know what? We'll talk a little bit about, probably Trump and his visit to China, the visit to Asia and talking to China. A bunch of the EBT snap stuff.
$2 trillion coming in from that Asia trip. Yeah, that's a big victory.
So, and we got a lot of, just a ton of stuff, including the one thing that's not being talked about, which is the biggest atrocity on the planet.
Tell me about it.
the sedan. And how horrific it is dwarfs everything else that's out there right now.
Yeah. Hey, it's hard to disagree. Chad's in next, 12 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.